where that goes, so let's go, that's straight heat. Ain't no chillin' around here. Back that back, net chins, how we feelin' around here. Got my whole squad in the building around here. If my name ain't on it, then I really don't care. Come on. 3-point stance, we advance. Ball in my hands, I don't take no chance. Touchdown dance, that's my jam. No hot takes, this is nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. The beat on the beat, hey. Yeah.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You like that? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
Now we are.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guy Network on an absolutely loaded Tuesday afternoon. I got the season jitters this afternoon. We broke down 2 film studies that are yet to be released. They will be released this weekend, August 1st, August 2nd. Every day in August, you're going to come to this place and you're going to grind some tape. How about that? It's a great time to be here on this network, and it's a very special day. Do you boys know why?
99K day?
It is 99K day. How about 99,000 of you sickos subscribe to this here network? A little round of applause. How about a little round of applause for you guys? We appreciate it. On our way to 100K, and then the moon.
Huh?
Y'all don't know that reference.
That's a Despicable Me reference.
This guy knows
okay.
ball.
I thought
this
that's what
guy
you were
knows
doing.
ball. The moon.
Are you going to see the new one?
Tonight, we steal
The moon. Yeah. We're to the moon after 100K. No more announcements. Maybe 250K. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
$250,000 would be a banger. And then $500,000, and then to the moon. And then after that, it'll always be just a new milestone moving forward. We'll find a new one to chase down.
We're coming for Mr. Beast.
Huh? Oh, yeah, we're coming for Mr. Beast. Maybe we'll have our own beef jerky. That'd be cool.
Pretty cool, actually.
That's some real man stuff. Making our own beef jerky.
Yeah.
You know, taking a crap with the door open. We've literally never done any of that. But hey, maybe on this network. Absolutely loaded show for you guys. We're coming for that play button. Hopefully we can get it pretty soon. Big Ten Media Day out there. We got some coaches saying some noteworthy things. We got jersey patch news.
Yes.
I'm just so excited to talk about jersey patches tonight. I'm sure you are as well. We're going to talk about some individuals, players that are under a tremendous amount of pressure this year in 2026. And I love this segment from Kirby on the show notes. If it's not blank, then who? If it's not blank, then who? We're going to play a game of that. And we've got quarterback battle updates. Not a lot of quarterback battles left.
Yeah, they're kind of ironed out.
We kind of stumbled upon this pre-show. What's up?
Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like there wasn't a lot of quarterback battles to begin with.
Well, I think NIL does a lot of that.
I was going to
Transfer portals do a lot of that.
I guess, yeah, you're right.
We pay you. We steal you from another roster. You're pretty bound set to start for us when you get here. But, yeah, there are still a couple of quarterback battles that will be on the forefront of news and timelines starting next week. Guys, we have every college football team. Some college football teams already reporting for camp today.
Yeah.
Teams that are playing in week 0. Every other football team reports next week. So camp is upon us. Football season is upon us. It's an absolutely loaded show. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribing. And make sure you are telling a friend about this place. Let's start with the news out of Big Ten Media Days. A lot of talking points, as you can imagine, when 6 football teams take the stage out there in Chicago. What's up?
How did they do this? Because if it was anything like the SEC, those poor reporters were there all day.
It was exactly how you thought it was.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it was exactly how you thought it was. We're just going to roll. Now, at the SEC Media Days, it's like a 2-hour block for lunch.
Yeah.
No, they were rolling all day. I mean, hell, I was surprised at how short commercial breaks were on the Big Ten Network today. I mean, they were squeezing that thing for every bit of its life they possibly could, as they rightfully should. It is big-time talking season. Let's start with probably the most newsworthy and not outrageous, but a quote that created a lot of outrage, which was Brett Bielema's quote about the SEC. And he took a couple of shots at the league, didn't he?
Oh, I mean, this is kind of what he's become known for. I hate to belittle Brett Bielema down to just that as the Big Ten coach that goes on Twitter and throws shots over at the SEC, but that's kind of what he's been known to do over the past couple of years, I would say. And look, he has valid reasons. He has 2 wins against the conference in bowl games. So I don't know. He feels as if he needs to be the guy that, like, hey, guys, all you other coaches, you don't got to worry about this battle. I'll just take it on myself, and I'll do the talking.
Is he the new Lane Kiffin now that Lane's off of social media? This is the guy who I think is most active as a football coach on social media right about now.
Yeah?
Because it was Lane by a mile.
Yeah.
And now Lane is off of social media and judging everybody for being on social media. Always love those people. But yeah, I think Bielema is probably the most outspoken guy on social media that there is nowadays.
Yeah, probably so, that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, mate. No. Dan Lanning's not anywhere near this.
I haven't seen a Dan Lanning tweet go viral in ages.
Yeah.
Shane Beamer's pretty active somewhat.
Correct. But even that kind of like adds to this because Bielema constantly clapping back at him.
Yeah.
And dunking on him.
Yeah.
Couple of things about this. He basically said the SEC still wants to be stuck in 2005. Okay. Here's the deal. He does have a couple of reasons to be a little froggy. He's 2-0 in his last 2 bowl games against the SEC, and his conference has won the last 3 national titles. Correct. So they have all the bragging rights. They have all the ability to go up there and talk that talk. However, Brett Bielema was a success at Wisconsin, an epic failure at Arkansas in the SEC, and is now back a successful coach at Illinois. So maybe not the right messenger for this whole stuck in 2005 thing.
It's also very funny because the SEC was not dominant in 2005. It didn't win the national championship. It didn't even play for a national championship. So, like, it's kind of a irrelevant comment. Like, if you go back to 2005, the 2 best teams in the country were out of the Pac-10 and the Big 12, which is what I believe the conferences looked like at that point. So, I mean, if you want to say 2015, maybe.
Oh, that was Texas USC, huh?
Yeah, like it was like it wasn't even like anyone in the SEC was really running things out here. Florida hadn't exploded yet. Alabama was still away from Nick Saban. Auburn was really good. Georgia had a good season. LSU was good, but it wasn't like the SEC was running things like they do or did during the latter portion of the 2000s and the 10s.
If my mic was sounding weird, it's because my dumb butt left the lav on. That's on me. Tends to happen every once in a while. I mean, hell, I was stapling to the wall right before the show started. I got a little ADD before the show kicked on. That's on me. But yeah, I mean, he has the ultimate bragging rights because he did beat South Carolina. He did beat Tennessee. And the Tennessee loss was the Tennessee win was in classic. We are more physical than you, and you claim to be the physical conference. So there are bragging rights here. There are also your records in this conference when you came down here and coached. So there's a lot going back and forth there. SEC homers threw his record at him. Big Ten homers were like, attaboy. We did a little bit of both today. How about that? Guys, Lincoln Riley said the word.
Did he? We were wondering if he was going to say
We were wondering.
it.
He listened. He listened to the show last night. I got a feeling. But yeah, he said the word championship. I have the direct quote. You ready?
Yes.
Let's hear it.
All right. So Lincoln Riley speaking about the depth on his offense and defensive lines. Our depth was not quite what we needed it to be for us to close the season the way that we wanted to last year. I just feel the biggest difference there. I just feel a big difference there that not only our top end guys or maybe our guys that start, but as the season unfolds, we're going to be able to play different guys. We're going to be able to have that championship depth on the offensive and defensive lines, which is the hardest place to get it. That's been a big focus point, and I feel a big difference there now.
So
they got championship depth on the offensive and defensive lines, boys.
So he used the word, but he didn't use it in the way that we wanted him to.
No, he talked that talk. He talked that talk at that microphone today. I think, and he's done this on a multitude of reasons or a multitude of facets. The quote that I stepped all over you on while J. Will was off doing God knows what was the quote about, hey, when he took the job at USC, hey, in 2 years, this place will be the mecca of college football.
Whoops.
We're going into year 5 now out there at USC. I guess the question for me, guys, is like, are we in the time period finally where it's like, hey, put up or shut up, make a playoff or get fired? Because Pete Thamel went as far as to say that today.
He did.
Pete Thamel said basically if he doesn't make it, he's either going to make a playoff or get fired. No in between.
I mean, it's first off, it's crazy to say like it's year 5 already for him out there. It doesn't feel that long
feels
to
very
me.
new.
And maybe it's because that they've been kind of hidden in the relevancy world of college football. But I mean, yeah, it does get to a point when you go and get and like this isn't even just a USC thing of like you go and get a guy like Lincoln Riley. This is also a Lincoln Riley thing of you left a good job at Oklahoma to go to a job that you thought was great also at USC and really haven't made much of anything of it. Now, is it bad timing in his part that the Big Ten is starting to ramp up a good bit? Indiana's good now. Oregon's got things rolling. Ohio State. All these things, yes, but it is kind of a put up or shut up time for him.
Any idea his record, guys, in 4 years at USC?
I believe it's I think it's like 70%, like 65%.
He's won 66% of his games. He is 35-18. Any idea what his record was at Oklahoma?
Oh, it was way better. It was like
55-10.
Yeah.
Oklahoma fans, I'm sure, love that, because he did leave the Oklahoma job as if it was not good enough for him.
Correct.
As if this USC job was much, much better, and he talked about it as if it was much, much better and how he was going to rebuild this thing. So that's the first thing that you look back and you're like, whoa, you thought this was going to happen way quicker. While simultaneously 4 years later, going into your 5th year, you went on to say something along the lines of, man, it took me forever to get this place right and pry that competitive window open. Huh. That's interesting considering somebody in your conference took the worst team in Division I history and won a national title within 2 years. Very, very intriguing quote because you're out there at USC, buddy. It ain't like you did what or had to do what Kirk Cignetti did at Indiana in a matter of 2 years. That was relatively interesting to me as well.
I think that Steve Sarkisian is one of these prime examples because I can't remember which coach it was at SEC Media Days. Maybe I don't want to say a name and be wrong about it, but they were talking about how the 12-team playoff isn't necessarily enough because now you put these expectations on playoff or bust, but 12 still isn't enough to have those expectations because Notre Dame gets a spot. Yeah, you're right, it was Sark. Notre Dame gets a spot, all this other stuff. But I think Sark is one of these coaches where it's valid to have these expectations and for that to be the crux of his job security of, dude, it's a 12-team playoff field now, and you're in the Big Ten. You are at USC. We have opened up things for you. We have made the talent pool much larger for you. It seems like it feels like it's valid to have these expectations for him.
I mean, the irony of it, if like this championship window, and if it's finally we're here, we've pried it open, the playoff field is 3 times as big. You haven't made that yet, and you were, I believe, went to 4 out of the last 5 playoffs when you were with Oklahoma. Like they were
14.
Yeah, when it was a 4-team. And obviously, say what you want about the Big 12, and that certainly is probably a reason for that. But still, like the idea that the championship window and the opportunities have been so much more bountiful at USC is kind of slapped you in the face.
Now, it's unfortunate for Lincoln Riley that we've pressurized year 5, and you got the crap into the stick when it comes to scheduling. I mean, he got the Big 3.
Yep.
And I believe he plays Michigan, too. He got Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon on the slate. Like, good luck, buddy. There's presumably 3 losses.
Could you imagine if they still had Notre Dame?
Huh?
Could you imagine if they still had Notre Dame?
Oh, that was another quote he said that basically, like, we would still be playing Notre Dame if promises were kept. I don't know what promises he was alluding to. Maybe that they could move that schedule or that game whenever they wanted to. I have no idea. Probably should have looked into it a little bit more. But he basically was like, that's not on us. That's on them. While we're not playing. I wouldn't want to play Notre Dame on that schedule. I mean, I've talked about that. Like, hey, look, I'm a traditionalist as much as you, the college football fan, the sicko listening to this today. Like, I love the traditions that we have in the sport, but I also understand a football coach and a football organization looking at that and being like, wait a minute, we have to go 10-2 to make a playoff. And I have 3 of the top 5 teams in the country on my schedule already, and you want me to add a 4th? Meanwhile, they play none of this. They don't do any of this. It's not comparing apples to oranges, but it is kind of the reality of the situation. nowadays, especially. Like it is so much more of a daunting schedule out there at USC. I think there are 2 teams in college football, maybe three. I think there are 3 teams in college football that have a 9-3-able playoff maybe admittance. It's Texas, it's Ohio State, and it's USC.
Yeah.
And they have to play those 3 losses close. You can't get blown out at all.
Oh, for sure.
But if USC walks through their schedule, plays Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon tight, I'll listen. I will listen to the people standing on a soapbox telling me that the Trojans need a playoff admission. I'll listen. Same thing for Texas. If they lose 3 big-time football games tight, same thing to me for Ohio State.
Yeah, I think that's valid.
All right, so that was Lincoln Riley. I thought that quote was very, very interesting. Playoff or fired?
I don't know. I keep getting hung up on the recruiting class they just had. That's the big hang up for me.
That and also
Is that not – they hired a brand-new GM.
Yeah,
Like, you can just retain him, right? And don't we live in an NIL world nowadays? Like, you're not going to lose the entire commitment pool if you fire the football coach, are you? It will make it hard to retain them, but throw money at them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I like the better way to phrase that would be like, who's going to fit that bill for Mark Bowman? Like, who else is going to match that energy? Like, that'd be a way to phrase it.
Here's why I'm not certain Lincoln Riley is in a playoff or fire situation. I don't know, and the $15 million recruiting class certainly pushes the other way on this. I don't know how certain and how badly the USC administration wants to win. Like, LSU felt very much this way. It was like, hey, Brian Kelly, you're not even anywhere close to playoff. You're out of here. I don't get those vibes from that.
I mean, you could just alleviate the head coaching position in totality at USC and just hire the robot, the AI.
Oh, yes. They're using that. I forgot.
They're using it. It's their whole entire method pool right about now based off Lincoln's quotes. Now, I know why Lincoln talks about AI the way that he does. USC's most famous alum right now, or richest alum right now, just gave $200 million to the school for further AI research. Don't know if y'all knew that. I forget Buddy's name, but he's one of the biggest dudes in the AI space. Graduated from USC, just gave the school $200 million to further enhance AI development.
Don't care about water, huh?
Yeah, no, just give me the clankers. The clanker play call on 4th and 1 is going to be gas. I can guarantee it.
Coach Clank.
Dude, Madden was all over this way before AI was. Ask Madden was always there for you. Now we're going to have Ask AI.
But at least Madden knows ball.
That's what I'm saying. We've had this before.
Yeah, so out there with the AI, he talked about it pretty lengthily. Did y'all get any other talking points out of Big Ten Media Day? I have one major one that I think my SEC homers are not ready for.
Oh, what do you got?
Tony Petitti, in my opinion, showed today why he is the most powerful and best, not best commissioner. He's the most powerful and doing his job the best as a commissioner of one of these leagues. Last week, Greg Sankey was asked about the threat to leave the NCAA as a whole and create his own, right? And that created a ton of outrage because his comments, and for that matter, Kirby Smart's comments, have come off very much so as if you don't do what we want, we'll take our ball and go home.
Yep.
That is not how Tony Petitti addressed this issue today when he was asked about it. And guess what? There's been no outrage. There's been nobody from the SEC being like, oh, wait a minute. They want to do the same thing we want to do. Why aren't y'all giving them smoke? Well, the reason being is because he formulated his opinions and spoke in a totally different world than, is it a threat? No, it's not a threat. It's a promise. If y'all don't do what we want, we'll leave, which was the sentiment we got from Sankey last week, in my opinion, and certainly from the internet's opinion and certainly from Big Ten Homer's opinions. Well, this was Tony Petitti today. He said, I think what you hear about, like it's not about a breakaway, but is there a better path if you can't solve it with the Protect College Sports Act bill and if you can't solve it with your colleagues? Is there some path where you have to have conference-based rules, Petitti said Tuesday morning. That's not necessarily breaking away. That doesn't mean you're not going to play anybody else, but is there a path to have rules that we can at least operate from the conference? That's also really difficult. This is he's laying out exactly what we've been talking about for the last 2 weeks, or last week since Greg Sankey basically threatened everybody to take his ball and go home. this is the way to frame it. Guys, it's not just the SEC. If you're Greg saying, it's not just the SEC wanting to do this. It's these other conferences too. If they don't give us what we want, we'll all just collectively bargain in and of our own right. We'll all have rules within our own conference. And yeah, we'll probably still play each other, particularly the Big Ten and the SEC, because they will be playing on a different level playing field than everybody else. But this is, I mean, we were smart enough to talk about this last week, and we're a bunch of dum-dums. We're not the SEC commissioner. Your verbiage and how you speak and the words you choose to use in these situations will directly impact the outrage and the clickbait that gets taken from it. And the way that Sankey chose to do it could have been, it was right there for Petitti. And by the way, I told you before the show, I don't even know, I couldn't pick out Tony Petitti from a lineup right about now. And that's kind of the point. That's why he's doing this better. He is not the face of outrage right now in a world where everything is. You know who I can pick out in the line? Greg Sankey. You know who I can pick out in the line? Brett Yormark. Because they keep sticking their foot in their mouth, or at least it feels that way, when there's opportunities to dance around these questions like you probably should. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, dude, rule with an iron fist all you want to. I guarantee you Tony Petitti walks into those meetings like he's the cock of the walk and probably demands what he demands and says, if you don't give me what I want, we will leave. He probably talks like that behind closed doors. But in front of microphones, in front of national television, that's not the time to wield the big fist, because everyone's going to get upset and outraged about it. I thought the way Tony Petitti addressed this topic today is the way that Sankey should have. And to me, it's part of the reason why the Big Ten is slightly ahead right now. I think their leadership is less known. Does that make sense? Or less clicked and less taken?
Yeah, and I think, and maybe I'm just misreading it, Greg Sankey feels like it comes across as very much of a holier-than-thou sentiment, whereas I don't necessarily know that I get that from Tony Petitti. Yeah, the coaches and the fans and some of the players you get that from, but that's to be expected. But it doesn't feel like the higher-ups within the Big Ten are making it feel that way, whereas the SEC, I think Greg Sankey has unfortunately come across as a little bit, we're the SEC. We hold ourselves to the highest standard, and everyone else is below us.
Well, and I think a lot of this gets somewhat taken out of context. Not that I disagree with anything that you guys have said. Like, I completely agree. I think Tony Petitti does a great job of not being the guy that sticks his foot in his mouth and not being the guy that has this holier-than-thou sentiment around himself. But I do think, for example, when the SEC talks about, we're going to break away from everybody else, I think people view that as the SEC in its current state is going to literally have their own league separate from everybody else and play their own version of college football where everybody else is doing their own thing. That's not what the end result would be if that were the case. It would be a lot of other moving parts, and it would be much more than just the current SEC teams. So I think there's also not a lack of understanding, but I think people just take it verbatim of the SEC breaking away and that's it. I think that, I don't know. I just think that some things get taken out of context a little bit, but I completely agree with what you've said.
It's because, in my opinion, Greg didn't provide the context that Tony did.
Right.
Oh, I completely agree with that.
Tony Petitti literally says, is there some path where you have to have conference-based rules? That's what we laid out last week at SEC Media Days. We told you, hey, the threat isn't the SEC's going to up and leave. The threat is that the Power Four is going to self-govern themselves because they can't agree on how to govern the collective together, which also, by the way, I know you're already glazed over as an audience. The Save College Sports Act has until 9 a.m. tomorrow to be accepted by the Big Ten and the SEC.
Cooked.
And if they don't, this is where we're headed. I hope y'all know that. If they don't agree, if the Big Ten and the SEC don't agree to sign and join in on this Save College Sports Act, within the next 3 or 4 years, we will have conferences governing themselves with their own CBAs, and that's where we're headed. So I hope for the longevity of this sport and the longevity and the continuity, most importantly, of this sport, that we can figure out that Save College Sports Act. And that's not to give Cody Campbell a pat on the back, okay? Because y'all know my feelings about that guy. But that is the only way we can maintain the actual level playing field. Because I'm here to tell you, if they go about making their own CBAs, if they go about making their own rules, well, you can just look at TV rights contracts and it'll let you know right now the Big Ten's going to operate at a budget that nobody else can touch from when it comes to buying players. The SEC will be about $15 to $20 million probably lower. And then the ACC and the Big 12 will be off in another, basically a minor league system when it comes to payroll, because that's all they can afford. And we found that out at a real big level today when all this patch news came out with jersey patches. So I guess that's where we head next, but I do want to ask you to hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. We need that, all right? I need that. That's how we get put in front of other people, all right? So make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button and firing off in the chat today. Any other comments about SEC Media Days? Or Big Ten Media Days, excuse me.
I think we ironed it all.
So there we go. There will be more, obviously. I don't know the names of the teams. There's 6 more teams talking tomorrow, so I'm sure we'll get plenty of more quotes from those folks out there. By the way, Jake Butt doing a bang-up job on the Big Ten Network. Think he needs some help. That's the last point I got there. We do have patch news. Do y'all want to talk about jersey patch news?
I suppose.
I guess we have to.
Yeah, I guess this is one of the hot topics today.
Ohio State getting $17 million annually from Chase Bank
Shout out.
for it almost looks like an O.
It does not look very big.
No, it's probably the best jersey patch we've seen from that's not that bad.
Yeah, it's one of the least invasive ones I think you're going to see. And they don't it's not even like the Chase blue. It's a white logo of theirs.
It literally looks like another O on the jersey.
For real.
To an extent. Notre Dame got $20 million annually from SoFi. What does SoFi do?
It's banking, I believe. I know it's a way as like you could put money into a savings account. You can have it all in one place for yourself. I believe you can invest over there as well.
Yeah, they do money markets and things.
Yeah,
like
there's
that.
a lot of stuff you can do with SoFi. I've heard it's great, from what I've heard. Not to throw an ad out for them. They don't need me to do that. It's on Notre Dame's jersey, so.
That's a lot of money for both those programs.
Yeah, it is.
$20 million annually and $17 million annually. I'm waiting for Michigan to announce they got $21 million from somebody.
I think my favorite part of the day of all the patch talk about the jerseys and everything was the Notre Dame fan that got on Twitter and talked about the Ohio State sponsorship. Was like, this is why Notre Dame is different than everybody else, because we'll never succumb to putting a patch on our sacred jerseys. And then Notre Dame and then Notre Dame announces the SoFi partnership.
This is also another opportunity to talk about how whoever's negotiating for Monster Energy, buddy,
legend.
You are a legend. You are out here fleecing folks. You are out here fleecing folks. Just to remind everybody, $20 million from Monster Energy got the naming rights for the entire conference, okay, of the Big 12. So every sport that is played by a Big 12 opponent that is broadcast by Big 12 media partners, they have to name it. This is Monster Energy Big 12 football. They also got jersey patches on every single member school. They also got field patches or field logos on every single field within the conference for a crisp $20 million. The conference's naming rights, the conference's jersey patches, and the conference's field logos are collectively worth what Notre Dame is worth to SoFi. And I got people telling me they didn't get fleeced. Huh? What? That don't make no sense. This is crazy.
Yeah, and by the way, and from my understanding too, the Big 12 deal with Monster goes for all sports. This isn't just football. This is
so does Notre Dame. That'll be on all jerseys.
Okay, so
for Chase Bank, it'll be on all jerseys.
All right, that's what I wanted to
point out.
All
we really care about is football.
Right.
Those are the two big brands at those places. But yet, nonetheless. By the way, I forgot. This is the ceiling deal, and this is why the $20 million for the entire conference makes sense. Monster Energy is going to put the Big 12 logo on the back of their cans. So
what do you do?
On their cans?
Yeah. They're going to put it on the back of their beverages.
What?
The Big 12 logo.
Why did that need to be reworked?
And I would imagine the Monster Energy drinker in Europe is going to see that and go, I guess I got to watch Colorado at Kansas tonight.
Well, I'll go ahead and tell you right now, Monster Energy drink has never made me buy Call of Duty, no matter how many times they sponsored it on their cans. So, I don't think it's going to make me run to the TV to watch a Big 12 football on Saturday. I will, but it's not because of that.
Yeah, and I guess it does speak to, and there is some validity to it of, I think it's fair to say most of the Big 12 programs are not anywhere near in value to what Ohio State, to what a Notre Dame, to what some of these big deals are worth. And that's fair. I think just from an exclusivity standpoint, to where it doesn't really allow you, a Big 12 school, to go out and get these other opportunities, it kind of pigeonholes you.
20-1 though.
Yeah, no. Again,
20-1 is crazy.
They've definitely been undervalued, but I also somewhat understand they're not as valuable of an asset.
That's the breakdown, by the way. Notre Dame got $20 million, and every member school in the Big 12 gets basically $900,000 out of this deal, while their entire conference is just slapped with the Monster Energy logo. I mean, I'm a sugar-free Monster white stir guy. I mean, I'm all about it.
Are you?
No,
I don't know if you live and die by that.
I don't,
all right?
but you do.
I do.
I appreciate your allegiance to Monster Energy drink.
Man, I don't know. It just got a chokehold on me, man.
I'm a Rain guy.
Oh, I can't do those anymore.
Dude, I need all 300 of the Milli Vanillis. Yeah, I need them all.
Can't do that anymore.
Heart palpitations?
Yeah, just kind of. There was one day where I was like, ooh. I don't like this feeling. I'm going to stop this now. I don't like this.
See, I like my hair standing up. You know what I mean? I like gritting my teeth. I like not being able to go to sleep till 2 o'clock in the morning, wondering why I can't sleep.
I don't know if that's caffeine that does that. I think that's something else.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, we talked about it when the Monster Energy drink came out, or the announcement from Yormark came out. Was like, that's not enough.
No.
That is not near enough
Definitely
money. And now we know. And look, I got into it with a bunch of people today about this. They're like, well, the Monster patch does not eliminate you from signing other deals. No, but it sets the market value. That's what it does. Like, why, if you're not some former booster like the BYU guy that has a $500 million valuation on his company, wants to buy a patch because he's a BYU grad and their company started at BYU, yeah, that guy's going to pay whatever he wants to pay to help his university out. But you're not going to get a Chase Bank deal. You're not going to get an actual company deal that is worth anything north of $1 million, because why would anybody walk into your offices and be like, wait a minute, Monster gave you $1 million and they're everywhere all over this place? Sure, I'll give you 19. What? That's bad business. That's not. You don't have to go to marketing school and get a doctorate in marketing to understand that. When you sell the soul of the conference for $20 million, $1 million per school, nothing other than, I love the school, I went there, so I'll give you whatever you want. Those are the only types of deals you open yourself up to. There's not going to be any type of real evaluation otherwise. So there's that. We good?
Yep, I think so.
All right, I got a quick hitter for you.
Okay.
Miami, 167 votes to win the ACC.
All right.
Any guesses on how many votes SMU got, or Clemson and SMU got to tie for second?
Combined?
Individually.
30.
7.
Oh.
Whoa.
167 to 7. We'll end it with, buddy, if you don't win that conference,
Yeah.
You have a problem.
that's got to be that's more staggering than the Texas Tech BYU split in the Big 12.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of that's because Brennan Sorsby's out. But even BYU got like a quarter of the votes out there, I think, to win that conference.
Staggering difference, that's for sure.
I mean, holy smokes! I don't think it's ever been that bad in this in this sport, has it? From that big of a drop off from who we think's the best to who might be the second best.
Maybe when Oklahoma and Lincoln Riley were running things in the Big 12 and Texas was down, but
Perhaps.
other than
Maybe.
that,
Perchance.
Yeah, that's probably
think
the next
maybe.
closest
that's
thing.
probably the next closest thing. But
Hey, I've never seen anything like that. I had to bring that up. All right, I like this segment. Individual players, gentlemen, that are under a tremendous amount of pressure. Obviously, there's a lot of coaches we've talked about on pressure seats and hot seats and different things. We've done all those lists and all those rankings previously during the offseason. It's time to talk real ball. Let's talk about individual football players. I put this out on social media at Brooks Austin BA. If you're not following me, you should. And There's a unanimous answer. You ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
Arch Manning.
Oh,
Who are
Now,
you going to go
I
with?
was gonna go Bryce Underwood.
No.
Arch
It
Manning.
is
Yes.
unanimous.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Arch Manning. Yes. Agreed.
Idiot. It is
My bad,
absolutely
my bad.
Arch Manning.
Now, I do want to
unanimous.
ask this question.
What up?
Did he have more pressure going into last season or this season?
It's different
Like,
pressure.
think about individual pressure. Because the Texas football program has way more pressure going into this season than they did last season. But I would argue Arch Manning had much more pressure going into last season than this
Yeah,
season.
especially from I don't even know if I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know if I can do this yet. I haven't really had a chance to be the guy. I mean, I beat the hell out of Sam Houston last year, but, like, I don't even know if I'm ready for – and, oh, by the way, week 1 on the road, Ohio State, whoa.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what I mean? At least we get it week 2 this year.
I think the pressure with Arch this year lies more so with like living up to the Manning name. Like we know he's good at football. I think he proved that last year. Now some people might want to tell you that he isn't, but I would say I don't think you watched closely enough last year despite what you thought about Texas last season. I thought Arch played as good as he could have with the parts around him. But so this year it's more so like, hey, can we actually be the first overall draft pick? Can we actually be a Heisman contender? Can we actually be what the Manning name is known to be in the football world? Like, can we become that this season? That's what the pressure is with him. But certainly one of the most pressurized players in football.
Friend of the show, Paul Feinbaum, said he's going to be the best quarterback to ever play last year.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure.
I mean, I believe
Tim
it was
Tebow, who?
the most
Cam Newton, get out of here.
Yeah, the most dynamic
Joe Burrow?
quarterback in the SEC since Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
That's
Which
what it was.
which is crazy because there's like 4 or 5 other incredible legends before that.
That arguably you could make a case for having been better than Tebow, at least for a single season.
Certainly.
Maybe not from a career standpoint, but yeah, that was a lot of pressure last year, but it's still under a tremendous amount of pressure this year. Dante Moore got a lot of shouts.
Yeah,
for sure.
You
definitely.
know, was he a top 5 pick last year? Like everybody uses that talking point. Was he going top 5?
There seems to be a revisionist history on this. I remember sitting down for the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl and going through Twitter, and it was basically like, whoever wins this game is going to be the first quarterback taken. And obviously, Fernando Mendoza in Indiana beat the hell out of Oregon. It was kind of like, all right, Dante Moore, you're not that good. So, but I feel like there was a time where Dante Moore was looked at as potentially QB1.
Oh, no. I think there was definitely a point in time last season where people were like, this is going to be the first pick in the draft this coming year. Like, this guy is going to be that. I think recency bias would have made people steer away from that because his performance in the Chick-fil-A or the Peach Bowl was very bad. It was not good. Not that the NFL draft is complete recency bias, but it wasn't very promising based on that performance. I think people still have questions about him.
Give me 1 second because I got to find this stat from Brett Sionic or Brett and the Pick Six group. The stats against good football teams last year for him were not very good.
So what's the metric for a good football team?
Well,
It's like a high-ranked defense. Or...
Just talk.
Okay, I'll give you one of my other names on this list. My first name, actually, that I came up with was Ryan Coleman Williams.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of pressure around him because not only because last season maybe he didn't live up to the hype that he did, that he showed as a true freshman. Like I think going into his sophomore year, everybody's like, this is going to be a dude. Like, it's going to be Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams talked about in the same voice, in the same sentence, until they are both drafted in 3 years. Took a step back last year, but I think there's even more pressure around him because we did lose a guy like Isaiah Horton, and we don't have Jeremy Bernard anymore on the roster. It's kind of, hey, Ryan Coleman Williams, like, you're the guy on this roster now. Like, you should be leading the wide receiver room. Like, you're the best talent that we have in this room. You got to go show it this year. So I think there's a lot of pressure around him.
Yeah, and I think he's kind of a victim of suffering from the success you achieved so early. Like what he did in that Georgia game in 2024, like boosted him to stardom overnight. And I think that you headed into the 2025 season with so many expectations. And yeah, there were certainly some out of character plays, and he had a lot of issues with drops, but there's definitely a lot of pressure before him this year because the spotlight is on you, and it is kind of the expectations are still very high.
I think the stat was he threw 9 of his 10 interceptions against Indiana, Iowa, and Indiana.
Yikes.
And if you look at the schedule last year, like those are really the only high-quality defenses that he played. Like, I don't know, if there are any Wisconsin fans in here going to shoot me? You know? Like, are anybody dying on the Husky bandwagon out there in Washington? You know what I mean? Like, he didn't – the schedule last year, USC's defense, are y'all a scrappy bunch last year. I don't recall that. He played 3 really good defenses. Oh, Texas Tech.
Okay.
Texas Tech was a really good defense last year. Okay, played 4 great defenses last year. Really 3. Played Indiana twice.
Right.
And threw 9 of his 10 interceptions in those games.
Ruh-roh.
So he's got that to prove, in my opinion. Like, hey, we can be good against good defenses. On top of the fact that there's a lot of pressure on turning down what seemed to be a top 5 evaluation. So I'm glad you guys reminded me on that because I do remember that sentiment.
Yeah.
Of the Peach Bowl being basically.
Yeah.
Who's fitting to be the Raiders pick?
Yeah.
And then pick 6 to start the game, and it's like, oh, this guy stinks.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it could
It's
not.
like, oh, never mind. Back to college he goes. This guy stinks. It was that quick. It happens that quick when it comes to the thought processes on quarterbacks. Who else is on a tremendous amount of pressure?
I've mistakenly put him as the number 1 unanimous, unfortunately, but Bryce Underwood is also on this list for the reason of you've had a very, very loud offseason. The locker room hotboxing, we know. Yeah. Yeah, pun intended. The locker room hotboxing, I'm the best player to come out of Michigan. There have been some other people outside the media saying things about you. You didn't
Legal
really
state.
I believe so, yes.
They ain't smoking no mids.
Thank God. Thank God he wasn't smoking that mid in the locker room.
That was that loud pack. Go ahead.
No, for real. But yeah, there's a lot of pressure on Bryce Underwood, especially because he was kind of anointed like he is the one. Michigan went out and put all these resources for them, and it's unfortunate that the coaching staff has gone through what it's gone through, and that's probably going to hinder his growth a little bit. But there's got to be some pressure to perform this year.
No doubt.
Y'all had the layups. I got the well. CJ Carr is a layup.
Yeah.
That dude's got a ton of pressure from a standpoint of we think you're about to be something special. Your schedule says you should eat. If you don't, that's not good.
Yeah, CJ Carr has the potential to live up to the words that Bryce Underwood said about himself of being the best quarterback that program has ever seen. Like that's the type of sentiment that is surrounding CJ Carr right now, at least in my opinion. So certainly a lot of pressure there. I don't know that this one's a layup. I put it here simply because this player had the choice to go to the NFL draft this year, and I think would have been one of the not first players taken off of the board, but I think he would have had first round potential. Definitely in the second round. Damon Wilson has a lot of pressure around this season because, like I just said, he balled out at Missouri, and at a position that people pay at a premium price, especially at the NFL, that dude would have been one of the most highly sought-after edge rushers in a very loaded class, might I add. And I understand that probably was a reason why he went to Miami and another reason because of the money that they offered him, but it's very vital. And I think he will. Miami has obviously shown that they have the ability to get after the passer, and dudes put up numbers in that defense. But a lot of pressure to make sure you live up and continue to live up to the hype.
Ain't no doubt Damon Wilson can get after the quarterback. The doubt is, can you play on first and second down?
Yeah.
Can you actually play against the run? I bet Jason Taylor is going to pull his hair out a couple of times this spring, this fall camp. By the way, CJ Carr could be what Bryce Underwood said he was going to be from a standpoint of best player to come out of Michigan. I bet you didn't know CJ Carr's from Michigan.
I did not know that.
You should. Lloyd Carr is his grandfather.
I should have known that.
By the way, that story was crazy. I don't know if y'all saw that. He said on Rich Eisen that Michigan just didn't recruit him.
Ooh.
Just thought that they had that one in the bag, that they could just
Awkward.
not worry about it
Bro.
and not show him love. And he wanted to go to Michigan all growing up. Obviously, his mom and dad went to Michigan. His grandfather's Lloyd Carr. Fumbled the bag on that one.
Needless to say.
Yeah, we're probably busy doing something out there with because I believe Sharon was the quarterback's coach at that time.
Ooh.
Definitely the OC.
Oh, they had a quarterback's coach, huh?
Well, you know. Who else? Sam Levitt's got a lot of pressure on him. They paid him a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, just from the standpoint of that's going to be one of the more spotlit programs and spotlit quarterback positions because of everything that went down and who your coach was. So, yeah, Sam Levitt definitely falls on this list. A player I have that I don't necessarily think is pressure from expectations, but just the situation you're walking yourself into. Anytime you follow up a Heisman-winning quarterback on a 16-0 national championship team, there's going to be some pressure to perform, and I think Josh Hoover is going to be going through it. And then obviously what his coach said about how he throws his interceptions, and there's been a back and forth between Coach Cignetti and his TCU coach Sonny Dykes, I believe. I'm forgetting his name.
He was mentioned on social media as well.
Yeah, so
it is Sonny Dykes, by the way.
So, yeah, I think that Josh Hoover's one of these players where the pressure is a little bit high.
Absolutely. Mark Bowman, only because of what USC paid that man. Like it's pressure this year because that sucker better hit this year. There's no we're gonna let it feel him out. We'll see how it goes. We'll test the waters a little bit, see if he's right. No, he better be ready.
By the way,
like $5 million.
I think it was 9 over 3.
Yeah,
and that was reported from the GOAT of all GOAT USC reporters, Scott Schrader.
Yes,
like that guy. If he reports it, it is good as gold out there in Trojan land. For my money, I don't trust the US. I don't even know another USC beat reporter. That's how good that guy is at his job. But when that guy said that, I was like, Georgia people were like, yeah, we lost out. I mean, hell, they gave him $7 million. And then I look on Twitter and it's $9 million from a USC reporter. And I'm like, what? Yeah, and look, hey, we don't do a lot of he might be number 19, but he's pretty freaking good. That's one of those football players that I don't think misses.
yeah.
It's so impossible in my mind. There's no simulation where I'm like, yeah, Mark Bowman's going to be bad.
I believe the verbiage you use is unmessupable.
Yeah, that's the terms that I use right there. Unmessupable, which brings me to Xavier Crowell. Xavier Crowell's got way too much pressure on him to be really good as a 17-year-old freshman. That's a lot for the Alabama running back, who, by the way, should still be in high school. Okay, this is Ryan Williams all over again. We reclassed ourselves to get into college football. And unlike Ryan, in my opinion, Ryan was oh my God, he's this good, we'll play him. This is hey buddy, you better be this good. We need you. Mm-hmm. We need you bad.
Right.
And that's a lot of pressure to put on a young back.
Oh, no doubt.
And yeah, he seems like an unmess-upable. That was the guy that I created that word for. This guy is such a good prospect. Hard to mess this one up. He's unmess-upable.
Here's another player who I think is kind of in a similar vein, but is at the back end of their career, was such a great prospect coming out, but has kind of been bouncing around. Justice Haynes has a lot of pressure this year, heading back to his home state for Georgia Tech. Things didn't necessarily work out at Alabama. I think, obviously, with what went down at Michigan, that was...
We are on School 3.
We are. I think people forget that he spent some time at Alabama. So, yeah, I think that Justice Haynes has a lot of pressure to perform of just living up to the hype that you were as a prospect and making a career for yourself. It's a money year. It's a contract year for the NFL draft. So what can you do?
Now, you want to talk about contract years. This player is the definition of it, and Lenore Sellers. There was nobody in college football other than Arch Manning last offseason.
Todd McShay's still on the spoon.
Hey, look, I can't.
Be careful, Todd. That spoon stays hot. You better watch out.
I'm not guilty of it. Yeah, you're going to talk about that for sure. But
Lenore
Sellers, outside of Arch Manning, there was not a quarterback being hyped up more than Lenore Sellers. I mean, this guy was being anointed as first overall draft pick, best QB prospect in the country. This guy has it all. Look how electric it is. And look, the first season of him starting, it was all warranted. And then last year happened. And I think it has to do with the fact that we can't really stay healthy at the moment because we're taking too many hits. I understand the offensive line has been an issue. Maybe that gets solved this upcoming year. But it's a massive season for Lenore Sellers when it comes to draft position and what you could potentially make.
Yeah, the playing within a week of getting a concussion after the Vandy game was like, really? This concussion protocol's changed a little bit since I was playing.
When has that ever worked well?
Yeah, no, not normally. Especially the way that he plays football and the way that they choose to protect him.
Yeah.
I think he's got a lot of pressure on him just to get back to what it was. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, does that make sense? Sorry. Who else?
How about Luke Farrelly?
Oh.
I think that with all the drama that's gone around him, he has placed some extra eyeballs on him around this season. There's going to be, if you don't play up to the standard that was set, if you don't look anything like you were expected to be, there's going to be some jokes made at your expense. I don't think that it's a do or die situation for him, but definitely something where you've brought a lot of attention to yourself for how things went with the Clemson and Ole Miss tampering. So
the tape was all right. I watched it. I mean, it's hard to watch Cal defensive football.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch Cal offensive football. We'll be watching that here soon. But, yeah, it's kind of hard to watch Cal defensive football.
I'm going to rattle off these last few names because I know we want to make sure we get to this last segment. Will Hammond, for obvious reasons.
Yes.
I mean, you want to talk about going from no pressure to all the pressure in the world, it
Just
seems
don't
like.
gamble.
Shout out Brendan Sorsby for that one. So a lot of pressure on him in Texas Tech now heading into the season. And then for what we talked about yesterday with Steve Sarkisian, Trey Wisner, Parker Livingston, and DeAndre Moore have a lot of pressure around themselves heading into this season. Prove them wrong.
Final ones I
As
had.
does Cam Coleman
Yeah.
and their
Definitely.
replacements.
Yeah, those guys too.
Certainly.
I got several left.
I have 2 left.
Does DJ Lagway have pressure on him this year?
Maybe personally. I don't think that
I mean,
nationally there's.
Kirby, he was in a straitjacket last year.
Oh, here we go again with that.
He was handcuffed. Could do nothing.
Magic trick.
Man, I was too restricted during the LSU game that I had to throw 5 interceptions.
Should have been 7.
Oh, God.
God, dude, that was a.
I thought he was going for the Jameis Winston record, to be honest with
no
you, at some
kidding.
point. It's no offense to. I'm not going to say that. It's Baylor. If you go 8-4, they might put a statue out front.
Ooh, I don't know about
I don't
that.
know.
RG3's got to
I was about
get
to
his
say,
first.
forgetting
I mean,
RG3.
Yeah, RG3's got to get his first, but nah.
The last 2 I had Julian Sane for obvious reasons. Everything coming back this year, it's kind of going to be falling you even more now.
Don't say that. They'll shoot you.
What is with you if like jumping the gun to if you say that they're gonna kill you?
Dude, Ohio State fans are nuts.
I know, but like that. I love how that's the conclusion you jump to. In almost
Well,
It's
every
funny to me because
situation.
Ohio State fans, I can find tweets of them telling me I'm a fat-headed idiot for doubting Julian Sand, while finding simultaneous threads of them talking about how Julian Sand is not good enough. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I love. That fan base, I think I connote with that. Like, and that's a good thing to have, where it's like, I'm going to war for my guy. My guy's not good enough. You know, doing it both sides like that. That's what fans ought to be, man. Go to war for your guy, and then behind closed doors, talk that truth. You know. But yeah, I went with another Julian, and it's hard to put this guy under pressure because I think he's set up for failure. But there is
guy.
some pressure on Julian Lewis out there in Colorado.
yeah,
And I almost feel bad for the guy, but I mean, you signed up for it.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
You had
Self-inflicted.
a plethora of options, and anybody with a brain could have looked at that and been like, "Ooh, I don't know what it's going to be once Shador and Travis leave this situation."
don't know if that one's gonna last.
Yeah, I don't. You know, having a generational two-way football player is kind of important, and they only went 9-3. So, what's it going to be when all of that leaves? We'll see. Even though the offensive coordinator did say that their offensive line at Colorado this year is better than any offensive line he ever had at Texas.
Okay.
So maybe he'll be protected. That'll be good.
Why do people do this?
I mean, you got to talk about something.
I guess.
Demon Williams?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, another one of those. You brought a lot of attention to yourself this offseason. You better have a good.
Well,
Dude's thick.
And there's
Yeah.
there's pressure with him because like your own fan base now is going to be watching you under a microscope because you threatened to leave, didn't seem like you really wanted to stay, decided to stay because you got threatened by your own program, and now you're coming back. So there's a whole lot of pressure around him from a national perspective, but also from your own fan base of like, boy, you better make this worth it. Like, don't make us regret this, please.
That is the pressure segment. And cut. That'll help out for your editing later there, Jay Will. Oh, man. That looked like a gator chomp. Don't do that. Don't be clipping
What's
that.
wrong with that? I thought you'd play for John Summerall.
Hey, I will play. I will play for John. Is it left over right or right over left?
right over left.
Look, he's
there.
my
Right over
little
left?
puppet.
There you go. I'd play for John Summerall. Would you?
He's putting hex on him, dude.
Would you play for John
Four
Summerall?
and
play
8
football.
confirmed for Florida.
I hope there's no hex on John Summerall because I got a lot of takes that are bookmarked, I would imagine, by fans. 8-4 is the floor. A lot of pressure on Brooksy for those takes this season. All right, quarterback battles. All right, there's really only 3. Now, help me out, Chad, if we missed somebody, okay? Alabama still has a quarterback battle going on.
Correct.
My John Summerall-led Florida Gators have a quarterback battle going on.
Supposedly.
My Tennessee Volunteer-led Josh Heupel football team has a quarterback battle going on. Is that it?
I think so.
Everybody else is kind of named a starter or will name a starter?
We mentioned yesterday that Iowa was, but I don't think any of us have.
You itching to make a prediction
I'll say
there?
I don't think any of us have a lot of analysis.
Vandy
for
is a
that.
good shot.
Team Huklinski. Team Huklinski. Oh, Vandy's got one.
Yep.
You're right.
That's a good shout.
Excellent
out from
shout.
Chat. Don't really
That's
know it.
crazy.
Hey, look.
Didn't they give the freshman $2.5 million?
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
yes, they did, Brooks.
But at the
Yes, it
same
did.
point, like
On a roster that's probably worth 30.
maybe.
Yeah.
So he's 1/15 of your total salary pool, and you're going to sit him on the bench. And by the way, probably expects to be a 3-and-done football player.
Look, I mean, that to me, that situation, if Jared Curtis is not the starter week 1, that dude is going to be the starter by season's end.
Is it Blaze Holzer? Is that the other guy? What a
Couldn't tell
name,
you.
by the way.
But that's just the feeling I have around of like he will eventually be the starter for Vanderbilt at some point this season.
Jared Curtis will take reps in the first game, even if he doesn't start.
Oh,
So-
100%.
Blaze Berlowitz.
Ooh, even better than you made it seem.
He did get the number 1, though. He was wearing 19 last year, so he went number switch.
Wow.
Ooh, guess who their third stringer is?
Oh, I know this. I can't remember who it is now, though. I remember being like, really? That's who it is?
Oh wait. It's not. No, it's not. He's not there.
Whit Muschamp.
Yeah.
Yes, we should have known that. Legend.
I mean, honestly, if Jackson Muschamp would have started during his Georgia career, Georgia would still be running national championship rips.
Bro, you can't be throwing that out on the national hour.
No, that's a very deep cut for jokes on the low
we just
cloud.
lost
That's
so
on
many
me.
listeners.
I just lost a bunch of people. That's on me. That's on me. The Georgia fans watching this just got a good chuckle out of that one, though,
Yes.
especially if they're in our Discord. All right, so Jared Curtis, probably, if he's not the starter by week 4, he will be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he will eventually be the starter this season.
Certainly.
All right, so there's that. Now let's preview and pick the starting quarterback at Alabama. It's obviously between Austin Mack and Keelan Russell, two totally, in my opinion, totally different skill sets. Like Austin is a good enough athlete to run, but he is not twitched up. He's 6'6", he's 230 pounds. He is a pocket passer with above average mobility. Random misses and sprays of the football that I can't quite figure out when I watch him on tape. It's been limited, but we actually do have some burn from him. Because Indiana beat the hell out of Alabama enough to get Ty Simpson out of the game. But there was like, I think 18 attempts against Indiana in that football game, and it's not awful. I think it's pretty good. Keelan Russell, though, I've talked about as an additive to their run game that they have to have. I think they absolutely. You're right. They absolutely need a little help in the quarterback battle. The discussion there. The comments from DeBoer during SEC Media Days basically alluded to Austin having like full autonomy of the system, understands everything, tremendously accurate, stacks plays it the right way. Keelan, young football player, got to learn the playbook, still learning, still growing.
Right.
When people hear that, they're like, oh, it's probably going to be Austin Mack. I think this is going to be a battle that they kind of go all the way through. I think FSU's week 3, and then they host Georgia. Is that correct? Or something along that lines?
Yeah.
I think there's
They get
four
a slow
easy
start
ones,
to the season.
4 relatively easy ones, and then they welcome Georgia to town.
Yeah, I believe
they
it's-
better have named the guy by then.
I believe it's Toucans and Mississippi State, and then Florida State, or somewhere in that order. So, yeah, but no, I think you're right in that they'll be very much figuring things out. I think ultimately it's Keelan Russell who gets the end because the ceiling's that much higher, and you do have that added bonus of, hey, we can maybe supplement our run game a little bit here by doing this.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna lean Austin Mack. I've always, for whatever reason, that's
He's
just
such a stack plays quarterback, and for a stack
Yeah.
plays offense.
and it's a guy that DeBoer picked himself. Now I know that he picked Keelan Russell as well, but like this is a guy that DeBoer handpicked a few years ago. Like this
Made
is
him
one of his
early in a
guys.
role.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, to me, that's just why I'm gonna lean Austin Mack for that one. Like that's just how I felt the entire time.
We know where Bama fans reside.
Oh, for sure,
There
and rightfully
is
so.
No doubt about
I get
those
it.
guys. They know who they want. And sometimes, I don't know if that plays a role, but sometimes it does. The noise gets loud, man, especially at passionate fan
Buddy,
bases.
Mark Richt was bullied into playing Fat and Bada against Florida.
Who?
Yeah, Fatal Bada.
Oh,
Give me
he
a
was
moment.
hell in NCAA, though.
Moment of silence for him.
I
These are
don't
rough
think that
years.
was needed.
That was a real deep cut right there.
Yeah, dude.
Um,
Halloween night. 2015.
let's go to our last one on the list, Tennessee. Who do you predict to win that battle between George McIntyre and Faison Brandon?
You want to
'Cause
talk
I know
about?
where I'm at.
I'll tell you what. You want to talk about a fan base steering a decision? I know for a fact, based on what I've seen on social media, Tennessee fans do not want it to be George McIntyre.
No, they do
It
not.
seems like anytime I see a picture thrown up on social, like when they did the preseason photos and they had George McIntyre and they had Faison Brandon, all the comments I saw was, "I'm sorry, George McIntyre, but your time has passed." Like That's just kind of the feel I get from the fan base, but I wouldn't be shocked at all if he's a starter, in my opinion. It's such a hard ask to have a true freshman walk in there and be your starting quarterback.
Yeah, and to your point, Joel, that's a fan base that has needed a lot of excitement. Like, you didn't really get that towards the back end of 2025. You kind of haven't had that in the offseason this year. That fan base wants something to be excited about. And Faison Brandon, obviously, because he was such a highly recruited quarterback, brings that excitement. I think George McIntyre might be the safer pick necessarily, obviously because he's got some experience, but I think Faison Brandon will ultimately be the guy who starts the majority of Tennessee's games this year.
I think we would actually know if they played a little bit more ball during their spring game.
Yeah.
That would help.
At least we would have a much sterner opinion about that situation out there. I lean Faison Brandon because I think there's more to work with there.
Mm-hmm.
I think even Heupel talked about it at SC Media Days where Faison has already absorbed the offense, already understands the offense,
Yeah.
and George had to go through a bunch of mechanical cleanups this offseason.
Yeah, and by the way, obviously starting George McIntyre probably means you lose Faison Brandon. I think
Hell is happening in the chat right now.
Whoa.
What in the world? Put him in timeout. That's 2 minutes. Go sit in the penalty box.
turkey. Son.
Nobody want to
Whoa.
talk about Keon Staub?
It's Brandon Staub.
I don't know why I called him Keon.
He's definitely not a Keon Staub.
I don't know why. That's just what I thought it was.
That was-
Staub.
And
Mr.
even,
Staub.
Even when I sat down with Heupel, I was like, I got a quarterback battle going on between two guys. Oh, and Staub. And then he tell me about those guys. How do you accentuate their skill sets? And he went on to talk about Faison and George. And didn't get to Staub. So it is a two-man race out there with the third guy being a, break glass in case of emergency situation. So, yeah. I'm a Faison guy. You said
Faison.
George, but you think it'll be Faison?
Yeah, I think Faison ultimately wins it over.
And you're a Faison guy too?
I think I'm a George guy, to be honest.
You're just trying to be a different stir
No.
maker?
I just talked about how I think it's a hard ask to have a true freshman walk in there and take over the starting job.
Hard ask, and we just passed by our hard out. We have a whole nother hour coming up after the break.
Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog? What's up? You like that? You really like that? Let's shut up and grind some tape.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, for another loaded local hour here on the Film Guy Network. We got Schedule Talk Special Edition. Special edition of Schedule Talk tonight. UGA players under the most pressure. You got something going on over there?
I came back from Tampa with a head cold. I don't know what it is.
No.
I don't know. I think it was honestly.
It definitely wasn't the hundreds of really, really healthy men walking around that building.
Why do you sound so
It
sarcastic? when
probably
saying
wasn't that. Everybody down there is in pristine
Honestly,
shape.
I think it was just the Lord's way of humbling me. Like, first day back in the studio, you thought this was going to be a breeze. No, it's going to be a challenge, all right? Nothing sweet about this.
Yeah,
you got to
man.
push through.
This is super hard work we got going on here.
I like making things difficult.
Okay. We got that going on. UGA players under a tremendous amount of pressure. We also have camp storylines. It's Nug season over on patreon.com/Brooks Austin. If you're not over there, you should be. All right. We got plenty of intel coming out, especially as the season actually kicks up. You guys got kind of tired of recruiting intel because it tended to be wrong all off season. I mean, my God. Oh, yeah, we feel great about that guy, Clemson. Oh, yeah, we feel great about that guy, Oregon. Oh, yeah, we matched that, Texas. Just left and right. But, hey, we got actual football intel coming out over there now that football season hath returned. Make sure you're liking. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you are telling a friend about this place. It is 99K Day. Can't wait for 100K Day. It's going to be an awesome time. We're going to celebrate. Maybe pop a bottle of champagne and let you guys drink it.
Not a champagne guy. Throw a little OJ in it. All right.
Very,
Mimosas?
very small amount of OJ.
I never was a champagne guy anyways,
But it's cool to pop.
I was I'll drink anything guy except for Jägermeister.
Ooh,
It's the only thing I did.
That's a rough
Never
one.
dabbled into that.
Had a bad day junior year of high school.
Lord.
Oh, buddy, we started early. That's how you notice there's a problem by the time you're 26.
I
You
just
know?
don't know if I'm cut out for this algebra test today. I guess I'll turn to Jägermeister.
Well, it's junior prom. There was a reason to celebrate. There was a reason to get down with the Jaeger. But yeah, no, it was a bad night. It was a bad night. No, even worse morning.
I would imagine so.
All right. Here we go. Schedule talk. Here's how we're going to do it. We are going to go room by room, okay, position group by position group, and talk about whether or not a team on the schedule this year actually has a better unit than you guys, all right? And there's a couple of these. I say absolutely no. You have potentially the best unit in college football in that position group, if not definitely in one of these position groups. Let's start with quarterback, boys. Gunnar Stockton voted third team All-SEC, the number one voted quarterback on your schedule, that being Trinidad Chambliss.
Yep.
You guys know my thoughts on Trinidad Chambliss and where I reside with his skill sets. You got a freshening up on that during film study today.
did.
That dude was lights out towards the end of the year last year, pretty much lights out all year last year. I expect him to take another step. I don't think you have a better quarterback room than Ole Miss right now.
No, I completely agree with that.
Definitely not. It is interesting though because this is the one position room where it's solely kind of based on who your starter is. Like from a room as a whole, it doesn't really matter when you're comparing backups because I would say that maybe Alabama has a more solid room at that point because they have two quarterbacks.
I meant starter.
Yeah,
I
and
said
that's what I'm
room,
saying.
but
This,
meant starter,
I just
yeah.
want to clarify because this is like the one example where
That's a good
the
job.
starter is only the one that matters. But yeah, Ole Miss has a better quarterback room.
I'd say Ole Miss, and if you get them on the right day, South Carolina.
So I went Oklahoma, kind of a push depending on the day.
yes.
Like Mateer can be electric,
For sure.
and I do expect some growth there. Like he's gonna get, at least it's gonna get better around him. I
Yeah.
think, which might settle him down just a tad bit, and Lord knows he needs it.
I think Mateer and Sellers are more volatile, and their peaks are obviously going to be a lot higher than what Gunnar Stockton is. But if you're looking for consistency and someone's going to take care of the football, I think outside of that, Trinidad Chambliss is the only guy that you can clear-cut stamp and say, yeah, he's going to be better than Gunnar
Yeah,
Stockton.
and like just purely based on what we know heading into this season, like I would say it really is just Ole Miss and maybe like again on the right day South Carolina. I'm fine with showing some love to John Mateer, but there's also some situations where by the time you get to that opponent, maybe you feel a little bit differently. Like, what if Keelan Russell or Austin Mack just comes out guns a-blazing and they're just lighting it up this season if they're named the starter? Same thing for Florida. Like if
Yeah.
Aaron Philo and I'm blanking on the guy that's right behind
Tramel
him,
Jones.
Tramel Jones. If one of those guys gets into that offense with Buster Faulkner and they're lighting it up, you might feel a little bit differently. But as of right now, I feel pretty comfortably saying that Trinidad's really the only guy I'd take above Gunnar right now.
I feel really comfortable knowing that whoever's Bama's starter is going to be good,
yeah.
yeah,
and whoever's Florida starter in that offense is going to be good.
Yeah.
right.
I mean, guys, with the weaponry that Florida has, if they can give him 3 seconds, they're going to have somebody wide ass open for an explosive. Especially with the coordinator, with all the weapons that they have at wide receiver and at running back. Like, it's going to be really hard to play bad at quarterback this year at Florida. Again, unless you just have Texas's offensive line from last year. South Carolina, y'all mentioned it. Lenoris is very day-to-day. You catch him on the wrong one,
Trouble,
he will be the best player on the field.
for sure.
And that's tricky. You're right in the sense that where it falls in the schedule, like they're either going to be fighting for their life or without a pulse.
Yep.
And dead on arrival. So it'll be very interesting there. I feel the same way about Byron Brown.
I was going to
this year.
say, yeah.
Like Byron Brown at Auburn is going to get somebody. Somebody that is not supposed to lose to Auburn is going to give up 300 yards passing and 100 yards rushing. I'm just letting you know. And you better hope it's not you because that guy is a physical talent. I mean, we got Sir Coughs a lot and Sneezers over here.
I mowed the,
you
I mowed
boys
the
all
lawn-
right?
I mowed the lawn today. I think it's catching up to me. No,
I'm glad. I respect the hell out of you for mowing your own yard.
yeah, thank you.
Why are you looking at me like that?
I mean, I don't know.
I mow my own grass.
I don't know.
Bro came to my house one time and my
Yeah,
father-in-law.
bro came to your house one time. By the way, I had to go bring him something. It wasn't like I was invited. I had to go take him a check,
Whoa.
you know? And I show up and father-in-law out there on a riding lawnmower cutting the grass. I'm
Hey,
like,
he was just helping me out, all right? Just doing a good deed for me.
you better mow your own grass.
I
Real
do.
men mow their own grass. I'm looking at you, Will Compton. You know,
Going back
ahead.
to the original conversation, I think that now that we've covered basically everybody other than Arkansas and Vanderbilt, and I would say those are two situations where it's like, and Missouri. Those three teams, I think it's pretty safe to say going into this year, without a doubt, you have the quarterback leverage there.
where's Matt Zollers transferring to?
I don't know. Drinkowitz gave him a shout out at SEC Media Days. Was like, thank goodness for a kid like that is willing to come back for another season.
Well, Coach, you didn't let him know that he wasn't going to sit until after the portal. So
Go sacrifice your life for us to close the season. And by the way, we're currently recruiting your replacement, but we're not going to tell you.
go sacrifice your life for us as a true freshman. And, we're going to sit you year 2. So we're going to bring in this lefty from Ole Miss that also got benched.
Yeah, who wasn't very good last year.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, I think that quarterback, a lot up in the air. But as of right now, how he's in the preseason, I think it's kind of cut and dry.
I think it's the best position group that y'all play this year.
Ole Miss.
Yeah, no. The quarterback, like the quarterbacks that y'all play are better than
Oh, I mean the quarterback
the
talent
wide
in this.
receivers that you play, the offensive line certainly that you play. Like
Yeah.
the quarterback talent that you have on the schedule, I would argue is the most difficult part of the schedule.
Oh, I mean, in this conference
Yeah.
alone, it's some of the deepest quarterback talent the SEC has seen in quite some time, I would say. It feels like for a few years it was very, very top-heavy. But I feel like this year has potential for there to be a lot of great names at that position. Very talented names.
Definitely. There's tons of potential with the names there. And they probably won't all pan out, but right now it looks like there's a star-studded cast that you're going to have to go against from the quarterback
Kirby, who do you think is your number one op?
It used to be
Hunter Lacey.
Hunter Lacey's been the one up, but we haven't seen him in a while. I think Marcy might have taken
He's
that.
off-season slacking is what Hunter Lacey.
Yeah, where the heck is Hunter?
It is definitely Marcy Ryan.
Marcy
Ryan
actually pays to hate on me.
She did exactly that again tonight, so I'm bringing it up. Welcome back, Jay Will. Kirby still sucks.
Heck
Dang.
yeah.
Oh well.
Both with exclamation points. She's excited to let you know that you suck.
It's okay. I appreciate it nonetheless, Marcy.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Marcy Ryan, one of our most adamant listeners. She's here every single night. We appreciate her. Let's move on to running back rooms. Who in this conference has a better running back room than Nate Frazier, Chauncey Bowens, and Dwight Phillips?
3 teams. And the last one, I take that back. There's 2. I think that Jaden Baugh is really good. I don't know that Florida's room in totality is better than what Georgia has on the roster right now.
Well, they're going to give Ball 35 totes, and it's going to be damn good.
Did you see he was asked about his usage at Florida last season?
Yeah, he's like, my mom doesn't think it's enough. Florida fans don't think it's enough, but I'm all right.
Yeah. I thought that was a perfect answer.
That's okay, Coach.
Mom said it wasn't, so that's all that matters.
Shout out to Ma Dukes for being like, nah, he needs more.
And
He
honestly,
needs more. Let him get hit some more. Don't worry about that NFL money. Grind that dude out right now.
I don't even know if these other rooms have more talent in totality, but I think that the top 2 names in this conference, that being Ahmad Hardy and Kiwan, are good enough for it to throw it their way and say, hey, they've got the better rooms because they have 2 of the best backs in the entire country. Nate Frazier, Chauncey Bowens, those guys are really good. And it's a lot of people would trade for Georgia's running back room right now, but I'll give it to Missouri and Ole Miss right now. Maybe even Florida, just a little hesitant to do it.
Where do we do with this before the Dante Dowdell injury? Because I think that's at least something that has to get brought up now. Because that was
I'm still taking Ole Miss and Florida.
okay.
And if we want to go before injuries, I would have taken Ahmad Hardy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Those 3 are just – they're better than any one that you have,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Definitely.
I do think the tandem of Nate and Chauncey is really, really good.
I mean, it's
I
going
don't
to be
know if there's like those backs that we just talked about. Kewan Lacey, Jaden Baugh, and Ahmad Hardy, when healthy, have chances to be potential first-round draft picks.
certainly.
Definitely.
And I don't think Nate or Chauncey are in that territory just yet. So
No, I'd agree with that.
I know who it's not.
Alabama.
No, it's not Justice Haynes by week 13.
Oh, that poor
It's not
kid.
that.
He's gonna have 300 carries this year.
You think so? You think he survives 300
They're
carries?
gonna give it to him as much as they can.
He's going to be looking like that old dog digging in the sand. Justice, we need another rep, buddy. It's fourth quarter against Georgia. Justice, we need 10 more carries.
Justice, we're down 35. We need 10 more carries. By the way, shout out to those 2 Georgia Tech beat reporters that voted for them to win the conference this year. Well done, brother.
Very funny.
Well
guys.
done.
Even Stanford got a vote.
Big Alberto Mendoza fans, those guys, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a stern drop-off if you didn't get the tone of my voice from that one for Georgia Tech this year.
Trying to think of anybody else who I think that we've covered the teams that are certainly in contention to have like better running back rooms in Georgia. I can't really think of anybody else who would be like, you know what, maybe they do.
I don't feel this way about Auburn.
No, don't feel that way about Alabama. Don't feel that way about South Carolina.
I don't feel that way about
Not Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
No. I think that's kind of it.
Western Kentucky got a dude.
Not enough. I don't think Vanderbilt has anyone that's good.
All right, these next 2 are really, really quick.
Yeah.
No one has a better tight end room than you.
No.
I completely agree.
Nobody.
I don't even who's even closest in this regard.
Couldn't even tell you.
Yeah.
Not on your schedule.
Yeah, on this schedule.
Oklahoma brought in 2 new transfers. I couldn't tell you Auburn's tight end.
Nope. You know, Auburn. No. Georgia is.
Here's how bad tight end is in the conference right about now, going into the season. The 3rd-team All-SEC guy, the Rodriguez kid from Kentucky, had 300 yards last year.
Sheesh.
Hey, I mean,
And he was a 3rd-teamer.
Lawson Lucky, I think, had 275.
I know, but, like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, Trey'Dez Green only had, like, 500 yards last year.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a down year from a standpoint of tight ends, at least going into the year. I don't think it'll be that by the year's end. And I think offensive line is very quick. I don't think anybody has a better offensive line than you on your
I
schedule.
put it in my notes when I was doing this. I was like, does anybody have a better offensive line?
No.
Not on that schedule.
Not on that
Unless-
schedule. And
Unless Oklahoma signed the right guy out of Arkansas and the 4 returners take massive leaps.
yeah.
It's not even close.
No.
Florida's head coach has been openly disgusted with his offensive line.
Yes. Now, in Oklahoma.
Alabama's got 4 new bodies and Michael Carroll,
Correct.
and they were horrible last year.
Yeah.
Now, I do think that there is a world where Oklahoma's offensive line outplays Georgia's when those 2 teams play.
Because of what's across the line.
Correct. But I think that pound for pound, Georgia has the better unit.
Wide receiver,
This one got interesting.
right? This was one of my primary conclusions and takeaways from doing this segment. Because when you do it like this, when you lay it out like this, you stumble into not necessarily new takes, but you stumble into realizations like, yeah, Georgia's wide receiver unit is not Texas's, it's not Oregon's, it's not Indiana's, it's not Ohio State's, it's not Florida's. But who does have an elite unit right now at wide receiver in college football? Like where they got 3 just dudes across the board. It's slim pickings, man. Like
Definitely.
when we went through the schedule, I got Bama and Florida as unanimous. They have better wide receiver units than you. So that's where our heart stopped.
Yeah. I mean, some people might try to go Oklahoma because Satanga and they've got some returning pieces there.
Parker Livingston.
Yeah, they added Parker Livingston. I wouldn't confidently say I have a better room. There's just so much speculation that's being done in these rooms. Like, because the knowns, like Cam Coleman, you're not playing him this year. You're not playing some of these other teams that have solidified. Like, if Tennessee were on the schedule this year, I feel like just because of the brand, you would probably say, okay, maybe Tennessee has a better receiver.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I like Staley and I like Mike Matthews.
Correct.
They're not on the schedule.
Yeah, so the way the schedule's formatted.
insane.
Like South Carolina, it's okay, Nick Harbor, Nitro Tuggle.
Oh, that's right.
Got sleeping on Mazio Bennett.
I like Mazio Bennett.
Do you?
I mean,
You watched the Texas A&M tape with me. Do you? Let's rephrase that. Do you like Mazio Bennett?
Mazio Bennett is fine.
Okay.
He's fine.
Ole Miss, if they had Lane Kiffin, probably goes into this category.
Yeah, Ole
but-
Miss is certainly one of these teams where they could end up having a better wide receiver room.
Deuce Alexander's better than anybody you have known right now.
Oh, I agree
in
with
your
that.
room. But I'm sorry, I'm not signing up for Jonte Cooks.
Yeah, I completely forgot that was a thing.
It hasn't been, by the way.
Yeah, no, it hasn't.
2 other stops. We're just
Was
gonna
it
sign up for
Washington,
it.
Texas?
Excuse me, 3 other stops.
Syracuse? Or those
It
three?
was Texas, Washington, Syracuse.
Yeah.
Now at Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. I'm not signing up for the Ole Miss wide receiver core right about now.
No.
Not over even what you guys have.
No. Missouri usually has some dudes, but I don't think they do this year.
Yeah, I think the years of Dominic Lovett and Luther Burton going through there.
Guys sleeping on Theo Weiss.
Yeah, come on, bro.
He's good, but I wouldn't say he's Luther Burton good.
No, definitely not.
I'm still a Jonte Cook believer. Somebody test that man. Somebody test that man right now. Call his employer. I hope he does not operate heavy machinery. Call that man's employer. Sorry.
Yeah, you are completely right when you really start thinking about how much we have questioned this wide receiver room. And here you go, Kirby, another one for you. We're questioning the wide receiver room. Go and tell them. I know you loved that at SEC Media Days. But when you really break it down, at least with how this schedule is structured, it's really not as big of a problem maybe as Georgia fans are making it out to be, in all honesty. And on top of that, we just got done talking about running back rooms for the schedule. Georgia will likely have one of the best run games in the SEC in the country probably this year. And a lot of teams that are questioning their wide receiver rooms going into this year cannot say the same thing. They can't even bank on that being good this year.
No.
That was one of the bigger realizations I had. It was like, oh, I mean, it's not going into the season as a strong point, but who has it on your schedule?
Yeah, I mean, it's been looked at as such a negative for Joe Class said it's the reason why they're not going to win a national title, and other players or other analysts have said like it's a huge doubt for them, but it's kind of a question mark for everyone.
I think people also, not to do this thing, but I think I remember people saying the exact same thing about Georgia heading into the 2021 season when it was, oh, no George Pickens, they're cooked. Like, they don't have the wide receiver room, not knowing that A.D. Mitchell, or that wasn't that year, was it?
No, it was.
Not knowing A.D. Mitchell was going to be really good, not knowing that Ladd McConkey was going to be a dude, like not knowing Brock Bowers was going to be as impactful as he was as a true freshman. There's so many unknowns that you can't project those things.
Let's flip over to the other side of the football. Oh, special teams? Anybody?
I'll take Peyton Woodring over anybody.
Peyton Woodring over
and Drew Miller, you should have been on the preseason. I should have been at least be able to vote for you.
Yeah, fact.
Shout out Kirk Benedict.
I couldn't even vote for you, Drew, but I would have if I could have. That's how much it means to me.
The legend from Cairo.
Yeah,
Dude's got a boot.
Dude, we got to work on that one. All right, we can do better than that.
I got to call Jeff and see what it actually was.
It's Miller time. That's it. That's it right there.
I think that's used.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, it
okay.
might be
That's why it's
trademarked,
funny.
We don't want it to be Miller time, though.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
You want Drew
No,
Miller,
you
we
never
want
want it.
sobriety.
you
What
want
we
Drew,
want.
You want Drew Miller tweeting in halftime that
I'm transferring. I don't get
Gunnar
used
Stockton
enough.
hates quarterback or hates punters.
That will be something that is missed. An actual personality at the punting position.
Yeah.
Shout out Brett
Hey,
Thorson.
we don't know. Drew Miller might be like that.
He might got it.
He might.
He might got
we don't
some
know
juice.
yet. We don't know.
We
You're
need
right.
him to.
You're right. We
We need
don't
him
know.
Not that. Well, I should
Dude,
say
an
that.
Australian accent goes miles into that likability
For sure.
juice metric. Like if you just talk a little funny, we like you a little bit more. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
It's true.
I mean, funny to us, yes. To them, it's normal accent.
Shrimp on a babby. Defensive side of the football. We broke it down in 3 categories: defensive line, linebackers, DBs. Okay, just make it real simple. We didn't feel like separating edge rushers, defensive tackles,
Inside
none of that.
linebackers
Front
versus
4,
outside.
the next 2, the 5 behind them. Where are they at in that category? Let's start with the defensive line. You mentioned Oklahoma as having a very, very didn't mention it verbatim, but basically insinuated that they are much better than what you have on the defensive line. Do you think that's a fair characterization of how you slanted that?
To a degree. I think that Oklahoma is probably a more daunting defensive line right now.
I think it's a push if Elijah Griffin's what we think he might be.
That's what I was gonna, like. I would phrase it this way: of David Stone is the best defensive lineman on both teams. Like I would phrase it that way first, but I don't know if I would go as far as to say as like they're completely past Georgia in the complete department.
They did lose 4 NFL football players from that roster last year
Mason Thomas
from the defensive line alone. But Adebo War, I've always liked the Oklahoma edge rusher. Taylor Wine was at SEC Media Days. I think he was a 9-sack guy last year. Plays good football. David Stone's elite. The Jaden Jackson kid didn't play. I mean, he played a good bit last year, but number 56 did most of the burn for them at nose tackle. But that kid is a monster.
Yeah.
He is so big and so
Really good.
agile. And just what they do defensively creates a ton of havoc. So I understand why people would look at that on paper and be like, Oklahoma's defensive line is better than Georgia's right now. So I would be there. But, however, if there is growth from Elijah Griffin, if he becomes what we think he can, And by the way, the Ole Miss tape from him shows very, very promising stuff.
For sure.
They were getting rid of the ball so damn fast. Nobody was sacking that kid that day.
There's certainly a very high ceiling in Georgia's defensive line room, but I just think that, and maybe this is, having lived through 2021 and 2022 of like, it's been kind of an underwhelming unit the last 2 seasons that you're not coming in with super high expectations right now, but there is a world where Georgia does have one of the best defensive lines in the country.
Mm-hmm. I think that, I don't know completely what Florida is going to look like on the defensive line, but I know they got a lot of talent there. I mean, Florida has had so much talent at the defensive line for the last 3 or 4 years, I would say. It just hasn't really molded into what people thought it would, or I don't think that the staff, like Billy Napier's staff, did a great job of really tapping into the talent that was available to them still is available. So maybe John Summerall can do that, but they've always had talent. They've always had some great football players on the defensive line. I don't think it'll be any different this year.
Yeah, no, I mean, Florida is another one of these, just consistently had a high ceiling and never felt like they reached that. I mean, like, even like a guy, and say what you want about him, but was it Desmond Williams?
Oh, big fella?
Yeah, even something like that where it's like there was something there that just never got tapped into. So maybe Summerall can ignite that, and this Florida defensive line can be better than most teams in the SEC.
L.J. McCray and Jaden Woods, or Quintavious Johnson and Gabe Harris.
Oh, I'll go Quintavious and Gabe, but it's close.
Now, LJ hasn't been healthy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of why
we haven't seen a full season of him.
Yeah.
Whereas Quintavious and Q don't come off the field.
Right.
But Jaden Woods, I think, has more sacks last year than Quintavious and Gabe combined.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Something to think about.
And Gabe's also going to be now. I think that he'll be fully recovered. I don't think turf toe is a very invasive surgery, but still, it's something to think of.
Just giving them fuel. That's all I'm trying to do. Ole Miss is in the discussion here because of how great Will Eccles is.
Yeah.
Is it William, by the way?
I think it's Will.
William?
I think it's Will.
Okay. Will Eccles is elite. Mm-hmm. We watched him again today.
Yeah, really good player.
He's all over the place.
I don't know if he sways the unit as a whole, though.
That number 5 out there is pretty freaking good, too.
Centurion?
No, that's number 4. Give me a second. I'll get his name.
Yeah.
We kept running into him on film studies last year, Jonathan, and I was like, wait a minute. How big is this guy? He's 6'6", 290 pounds, and plays D end out there and moves really, really well. He's going to be an NFL football player for quite some time. Cam Franklin is his name. That kid can play ball. Mm-hmm. But outside, they picked up Mekhi Barrow.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They picked up Mekhi Barrow from Florida. And I've never been the biggest Centurion Perkins guy, but he at least plays hard.
Yeah, I mean, he makes a play. He makes plays.
He also gets ran at quite a bit.
Does Dylan Stewart sway it enough?
That's what I was looking at myself as well. I don't know, man. Like what I do not like is listening to, I think it was Cole Kubelik on the SC Network saying basically like, hey, I spoke to their defensive coordinator and he spent the entire offseason trying to figure out how to get one guy loose. Because we know that he's going to get all the attention.
Yeah.
Because we have nobody else, really, was what he was alluding to. That's not necessarily a good recipe for success.
Yeah, I think that in 2024, when they had guys like Kyle Kennard to really supplement what.
Dude, and Tonka Hemingway.
Oh, yeah. They had a great
another
squad
defensive
that year.
tackle as well.
Was it like Debo Williams or something?
No.
No. I don't know what you're doing there.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I'm having football brain.
Tonka wore 90, and then they had another interior defensive tackle that went into the NFL too.
But yeah, they had such a great unit in 2024, and it's been diminished significantly to the point where he's the only one left. So he'll make great plays. He'll be someone that you have to circle every day on Saturdays and keep an eye on.
TJ Sanders.
Yes. Keep an eye on, but
Debo Williams was a linebacker that year, though. I had no idea where you were going. I didn't know if you were mixing up Debo Samuel on that, but Debo Williams was a linebacker that season for them.
But either way, like
decent pull.
Not bad.
But no, either way, I don't think that South Carolina will have the edge.
Nah, yeah, I agree. But could be first player taken in the draft potentially.
Bama's pretty unproven to an extent.
Yeah, they are.
They do have some elite guys. Like Yanze Pierre is going to potentially be a 10-sack guy.
Yep.
He's better as a pure pass rusher right now than anything. He's more disruptive than anything you have from an individual standpoint, but the rest of it is very, very unproven. We got to figure out everybody else. London Simmons was really good last year. We got to get a year or two pop from him. But I don't think he's about to be maybe what Elijah Griffin is even going to be. So
Right.
I would give Georgia the lean over in Alabama. It's really only Oklahoma, and then everybody else is kind of a push.
Yep.
Yes.
Again,
Push at
for
best.
a unit that everybody just assumes isn't any good anymore because they just look at sack totals and they're like, they suck.
Well, I mean, a strong defensive line unit's more than just sacking the quarterback. Like you've never been able to run the ball in Georgia with consistency, and I think that there isn't a ton of internal pressure coming up, and that's alarming. And you haven't been able to finish when you get to the quarterback, but it's still a really good defensive line unit.
Let's move on to linebacker. We can be quick.
Yeah, I think this one will be pretty quick.
No one.
Yeah,
No one has a better linebacker unit, maybe in all of college football, than the University of Georgia this year.
yeah, and it's not their best linebacker unit they've had in years, but it's still just so damn deep, and there's so much talent there. Like a fourth-year guy like Raylan Wilson, who has starts dating all the way back to 2023. Like, come on.
Now, I think Ole Miss is going to be good. Luke Farrelly and the transfer from Baylor are both like 100 tackle guys last year. They got noses for the football. There's no doubt. We'll see how they look in the new system.
Auburn's
Xavier Atkins is elite. He's a great football player. The other little twitchy linebacker they use in a very unique way. He's built like a nickel, though. But he plays in the box all over the place. They also started a freshman last year quite a bit, number 9. I forget his name. But he played good ball last year. But it's really the Xavier Atkins show, and I think he's so good that they at least deserve a shout in this for being close.
You're thinking of Elijah Melendez.
Elijah Melendez played a lot of ball last year as a true freshman and is not a bad player. He just gets overshadowed, in my opinion, by Xavier Atkins. I think the most underrated defensive player in this conference is Okonkwo, the linebacker from South Carolina.
Yes.
Used to play at Alabama as a freshman and then transferred and started the last 2 years at South Carolina. Every time I turn a South Carolina tape on, I'm like, what is this? He's like 240 pounds and runs like a deer.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that South Carolina sneakily has developed some of the best defensive prospects over the past couple of years, like Jalen Kilgore, Nick Emanwari, with TJ Sanders. I mean, they got Dylan Stewart, Luke Kennard. I mean, they've had some really good defensive prospects to come off of that roster over the last few years.
And by the way, just to reiterate the segment, this is only teams on the schedule that we're talking about. So Texas would have been in the discussion for a lot of these categories, but
Right.
we're talking about just on the slate right now and trying to figure out where you have drastic advantages, and that's how we're laying this out. Any other shouts at linebacker? Oklahoma, they returned the 17th-year senior. Kip Lewis is really good as well. They play it really, really well out there at Oklahoma. Always got great linebackers.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, and that's the Brett Venables bump as well. Of like,
Brett.
Yeah, you understand.
The Brett bump.
You understand that, you trust that unit. So Oklahoma is definitely up there, comparable to Georgia at least. But no, I think Georgia has the best unit in the country.
All right, let's move over to defensive back. I only have one unanimous I think is better than you right now on paper.
Alabama.
And, Bama Brooks.
No, I mean, it's fair.
Are you in agreement?
Yeah, no, I had him on here.
Okay. I think they might be the best in college football this year, just going into the year. We'll see what ultimately plays out like.
Yeah.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's really good. Oregon's got a good squad.
Mm-hmm.
They have, Ohio State's got some good DBs this year. They're not pushing back. Like, I'm not saying it's out of this world to say Alabama does end up having the best secondary, but was just thinking of maybe some names where I'd push back a little bit.
And then just because I have so much respect for the Bowen brothers, I put Oklahoma in this discussion. I don't know if they are better than you. I think we knew what Kendall Daniels was last year in the way that they used him in that defensive backfield. He's built like a linebacker, but they played ball all over the place with him last year. I'm very curious to see how they fill that void because they used him like a unicorn. I thought he created the most problems and the most unpredictable aspect of their defense the entire year last year as a transfer from Oklahoma State. So we'll see what that looks like. But they're always good in the back end. They do so much crazy stuff.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I think Auburn's another unit that deserves a shot. I wouldn't say that they're better than Georgia, but it's definitely one that's going to give your wide receiver unit problems.
I was just checking out to see who they have. I was trying to refresh myself on some names.
Myself as well. Can you run it out for me?
Yeah, Eric Winters at safety.
Dog.
I remember him playing well last year. Caleb Harris, it looks like, at safety as well. Rayshawn Pleasant.
Great special teamer.
Sylvester Smith-Reed at nickel. Andre Jordan Jr., a transfer at corner as well.
Good.
Yeah, it's worthy of a shout out. And DJ Durkin's a great
DJ Durkin. You want to talk
defensive
about bumping up for Venables? DJ Durkin gets a bump too when it comes to
Absolutely.
defense as well.
What did Yellowwood give him to keep him at all?
I don't know, but
Yeah, that was interesting.
that was the most crucial thing.
Is that just just wait another year and you'll get head coaching offers?
We're giving you equity in Yellowwood. I don't know.
Lumber is expensive.
Yes, it is.
All jokes aside, what a great retention from Alex Golish to come over there and talk that guy into staying, man.
Yeah, that was a huge
And
win.
I mean,
for him.
just credit to Durkin because, like, as a man, I would have been feeling some type of way. I'd have been feeling some type of way that you're going to pass me up for the guy from USF.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, he runs what kind of offense?
Yeah.
Huh? No. And stuck around. Now, he is the highest paid defensive coordinator in the sport. So I ain't feeling bad for him.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice to make $2.5 million a year calling defenses, and he does a damn good job of it. But, no, what conclusions did you take away from this segment? Because I come to find out, like I said earlier, a lot more really good quarterback play than I imagined when I wrote it down this way. It's like there's a lot of good quarterbacks you're about to face.
Well, I'll put it this way Georgia is ranked to have the easiest schedule, so to speak, in the SEC this season. But yet, when I look at it on paper, I don't necessarily feel that way. Like when I see going on the road to Alabama and I see playing Oklahoma, and I know what the Florida matchup has become over the past couple of years, and I know what South Carolina could potentially be this year. Like I don't view it that way of being the easiest schedule in the conference. But then you kind of break it down of where Georgia has the edge at certain positions and a lot of positions. Then it does make sense because based on how we rank these things, it's offensively, all right, we're going to give the nod to Ole Miss in some categories. Defensively, it's Oklahoma. You might give the nod to them in some categories. Alabama, some nods. Outside of that, Georgia's kind of taking it away in some other areas, in some very vital positions when it comes to football and what leads to success in this conference.
That's kind of one of the things I wrote down. Like your tight end group, your offensive line group, and your linebacker group is so much better than the rest of your schedule.
Uh-huh.
You just might walk it.
Yeah, you might.
I mean, I wish we could trade maybe the tight end room for a wide receiver being unanimously better than everybody else.
Yeah.
But quarterback, too.
Yeah.
Like, those are really pivotal offensive positions. But if our offensive line is better than all 12 units that we play all year, and I know we don't play offensive line versus offensive line.
Right.
But if we feel that good about the offensive line unit, we feel that good about the linebacker group, we really breaking it down like we didn't see that much of a problem with your wide receiver core not being what everyone wants it to be. Because look at your schedule. Apart from Bama and Florida, who has the unit at an elite rate? It's very interesting when you lay it out like this, just how much better it feels like you are at very pivotal positions than the rest of your schedule.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the things I got some. It's first off, Georgia is one of the most talented rosters in the country. I don't feel like we had to do this exercise to come to that conclusion, but this was a great reminder of that. The thing I kind of learned about it is recognizing that the deficiencies in certain skill groups in certain positions are going to be what ultimately lead to the detriment of this team. I don't think that their wide receiver is going to be a problem this year, but if they have a bad game or two, that's going to be the detriment. If the defensive line can't become a more dangerous and more disruptive unit, you're going to have a lot of what you saw the last 2 years where teams are just walking the ball down the field. You're not able to get off the field on third down. Stuff like that leads to drives that helps quarterbacks and opposing teams have these incredible performances that it takes to beat Georgia. So it really is going to fall on the defensive line for me.
No doubt.
It was a simultaneous right there from us. We're so back. We're so back in the swing of things on this network. All right, we did a pressure segment during the national hour. Let's do this in the local hour. What Georgia football players have a ton of pressure on them this year? I will start with C.J. Wiley.
Oh, yeah, that's what
Stole
I was
it right off
with.
your list because I had to make sure we led this segment with C.J. Wiley's got a ton of pressure on him.
Yeah.
To be a really good player. It's year two, coming out of high school. it took a lot to get him to not go to Florida State. It took a lot to get him to not go to LSU where his dad played and his mom, I think, ran track. It took a lot to keep him again this year. Because guess what? When you don't play as a freshman and other teams loved you coming out of high school, what do you think they did all offseason? They called you and said, oh, hey, we'll use you the right way. We'll get you on the field. And that ultimately means, like, we got to commit to him a little bit more.
Well, and I was going to say, like, when you recruited C.J. Wiley, this was the future at X. This was the guy. This is who you recruited him to be. And was behind Colby Young last year and Noah Thomas. And then this year he's going to probably be behind somewhat with Isaiah Canyon, but splitting reps with him. That means that this year it is your job, it is your duty to earn that right to be the guy next year so Georgia doesn't have to go in the portal again at your position. Like, that is the pressure for you, is you got to earn that spot for next year.
Yeah, and it's also not just out of a, hey, we need you to perform. It's a necessity thing. Like, if C.J. Wiley does not live up to any realm of hype that he's had as a recruit, like, you're going to have a lot of issues at the receiver room. So it's not just pressure on C.J. Wiley. It's pressure to the team as a whole.
And there's pressure this camp to make sure you even get the burn that you need.
Yep,
definitely.
If Isaiah Canyon is that much better than you for the next month, we're just not – we're not going to see the field as much as we think we should. I would start by – it's a place of hard coaching, so I'm going to say this. The body language has got to get corrected.
Yeah, I didn't love that in the spring game.
The body language has got – because, bro, you won't play. You won't play, and he'll just – Kirby Smart does not do woe is me. He does not do head down. He does not do bad body language unless you're the starting quarterback and they don't have a backup. That's about the only time I've ever seen it fly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anybody else y'all know that just kept getting to play despite the fact that he looked like Eeyore out there when it didn't go right?
No.
There was a little bit of that with one, but very, very small. I know.
He's an alien.
Outlier.
That guy is –
Outlier.
George Pickens is on another planet of gets to do kind of whatever he wants.
Yeah, outlier.
He's done that 3 times over at relatively professional organizations, Georgia, Pittsburgh, and Dallas.
Correct.
He just gets to do whatever he wants. But the body language has got to get better if we do nothing else. Like, if we drop passes, okay, keep your head up, son. We just have to keep playing. And I was the stuff during the spring game was it's not okay for a Georgia uniform.
Alarming.
Well, especially in my opinion, especially not with who you have playing at quarterback. Like, you've got a dude that his responsibility is to get not necessarily you the ball, but that is his role, is making sure that the plays that you can make, he gets the ball to you in those opportunities. But even if he doesn't get you the opportunity that you want, or you don't make a bad play, there's a dude back there dying for you every single play with a smile on his face. You can't have bad body language with that guy.
Heck, man.
Heck, CJ, come on.
Who else got pressure on him?
I think this one's kind of obvious. It's for an obvious reason. Nate Frazier. He's a guy that we know that the offseason had some difficulties of whether or not he's going to stay. There's kind of been that we're waiting on Nate Frazier to have that breakthrough moment. We saw some shades of it last year. He had some really, really exciting moments. I think people are kind of banking on expecting year 3 to be the year that Nate Frazier puts it all together and becomes an elite SEC running back. And for that reason, Chauncey Bowens as well, for the other reason of, hey, we obviously have proven that we all can be an elite ball carrier on this team. We got to stay healthy. We got to stay available, because otherwise it's going to greatly diminish our ability to affect this team. So those two guys are going to be under pressure.
Now, I have this name on here, and I put him on here solely because, like, at the end of last season, this guy couldn't be talked about enough. Like, this was everybody wanted to talk about this player for valid reasons. Like, he has star written all over him. But this room got really crowded all of a sudden, and there's a lot of good ball players now. And how we thought he was going to be used this season, we got to go out there and earn it again. Just like how we earned it late in the season last year, we got to do it all over again. Rayshawn Dinkins.
Yeah, it's a great pull.
Yeah,
I mean, Khalil Barnes is in the room now. Jamarly Riddle's in the room. I mean, KJ Bolden, obviously, we knew about him.
Zion Branch isn't a slouch.
No, not at all.
You kind of got pushed back into that role.
Yeah.
Like, you beat out Jonel Aguero. He was hurt, but the coaching staff felt you played well enough for them to say, wait a minute, you want what? No. Go ahead. You can go ahead to the portal and go ahead and do that out there at Ole Miss or Texas or whoever wants to pay you. Ended up being Ole Miss. And now you're competing for a spot at safety, which is where you played out of high school, and that's fine. But you created your supposed about to be stardom at nickel, and now that job is gone. It's wiped up in 15 practices. That is Khalil Barnes' spot.
Oh, and let's also not forget Tyreek Green's just swimming around, just waiting to see
just that guy.
who's going to slip up.
lurking in the shadows.
Whose spot am I going to take?
Who's gonna have a bad game?
So there's
Bro,
also that.
it's such a good way of describing him because he does think he's John Wick. He does. He talks about how what's the thing he put on his nose tape?
Oh, I can't remember.
the breather.
The
right?
boogeyman.
Oh yeah, the boogeyman.
Whatever the word or the Russian word for the boogeyman was from John
forgot
Wick.
about that.
You guys aren't John Wick watchers, nor am I. Huh?
Yeah, I can't. It's Bog something.
Chat's got us by now, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, it does start with a B. Now that you say that, it does.
Baba Yaga?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what
that's
it
what it
is.
is.
Yeah. I got it before the chat. Ha!
Good job.
That's me.
Yeah, Rayshon Dinkins got
That's
some
a
pressure.
great pull. There's a
That's
little
a very
pressure
good
on him, even in year 2 now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who else?
How about Sokovia White-Helton, a guy who, whether it's fair or not, is going to be looked at as this is Zachariah Branch's replacement. What can he do? And it's going to be you're going to be looked at as we need you to win in the slot. Now, Caden Protho's another player that's going to add pressure to that for Sokovia White-Helton because coming into the year or as soon as 2025 ended, it was kind of like, all right, we're going to miss Zachariah Branch, but this is Sokovia White-Helton's role now. Now we've gone through a spring camp and we're heading into fall camp, and there's a lot of rumors about, hey, Caden Protho out of the slot is going to be something to watch this year. So from this aspect of living up to the expectations set by the guy before you and fending off a true freshman that is an alien, there's a lot of pressure on Sokovia White-Helton this year.
Also, guys, he was recently filmed training with Odell Beckham, Caleb Downs, and Christian Gonzalez.
Whoa.
I woed that too because it's like 3 NFL football players, and no offense, Zakovi.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't know where they're working out. I'm looking at the video now, but them some damn dudes. How'd we get into that mix?
Don't know, but
I'm
I love
trying
it.
to have your agent. Nah, my agent's pretty good. We're all right. We're hanging out over here. We're pretty good, dude. But damn, that dude's plugged.
No kidding.
Who else?
I got Jordan Hall. We missed a lot of time since mid last season, and there's a lot of depth at that position, might I add. Like we got Elijah Griffin, we've got Xavier McLeod, we've got Josh Horton, we've got Vowden Sohn, who's kind of this up and coming freshman that a lot of people want to talk about.
Namdi Ogboko, Nasir Johnson.
So for as much time as we've missed, and now during fall camp, hopefully we get reacclimated and we're ready to go by the start of the season. And mind you, it's his final season as well. This is a massive year for Jordan Hall. There's a lot of pressure to make sure that we don't get lost in the fold and that we make sure we remain as this prominent football player. Because at the start of last season, I thought Jordan Hall was playing the best football of his entire career. I thought he's set to have a really good season. Then we get hurt. Hopefully we can get back into that mix.
I want to put this one on here. I don't think that they're under nearly as much pressure as some of the guys on this
Put them
roster.
under the spotlight.
But for the first time in your career, you are kind of in the mix to earn a starting job. Ja Jackson has to have a really, really good fall, and he has to have a really, really good output for the rest of the season for that.
It's the Juan Gaston show. Give me Zakai Helton, Juan Gaston.
And see, I think that's why there's so much pressure for Ja Jackson, because there are so many fantastic options at that position. Like, it's not we just need Ja to play. Like, there is a world where he does not start this season because there is so much other talent available on the offensive line. I hope for his sake that's not the case. But
Random pull. It's a big season for Daniel Calhoun.
Yeah. He should be on this list.
Definitely
He
should be on
And
this
for
list.
that matter, Michael Unai?
Yeah. Or I
Uni?
think
Uni.
I think
Michael
it's
Uni?
actually based on what I saw on the roster pronunciation list last year. I believe it's actually like Michael Weenie.
Big year for Michael.
Yeah.
Big year for
Mike.
Daniel Calhoun. Because y'all both got passed up last year by Donnie Glover. And it looks like both of you finna get passed up by Zakai Hilton. And you two are 3-year players that, by the way, I think Michael Uni was Weenie. Michael was a top 75 football player coming out of high school, if my memory serves me correctly. And I know Daniel Calhoun was a top 50 player coming out of high school. Neither of them have played meaningful downs, and if they don't have good camps, do they make the bus?
There's a world where they don't.
know.
I mean, honest to God, like, because Ekene Agboko is going to make that bus.
Mm-hmm.
Zakai Helton's on that bus. Ja Jackson's on that bus. And we know who the 4 guaranteed starters are. That's 7. By the way, we need to travel a backup center. Cortez Smith or Malachi Tolliver is on that bus.
Yep.
Like, you might not even get to travel in your 3rd year of football at Georgia. That's huge pressure, man. And by the way, like, if we don't get playing time and if we don't actually show that we can still play ball at a high rate, no shouts to the mid-majors. We're probably transferring down to mid-major. We're not getting signed by Missouri.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how that's going to work. So it's big years for those guys on the offensive line. Who else?
I have JJA on this list.
Solid.
I mean, this was a very highly ranked player coming out of high school, and it's not that this room has gotten overcrowded and we're getting lost in the mix or anything like that. There were spurts where I thought we showed signs of being a really good football player last season. There were also some signs of maybe just not ready yet, like haven't seen it enough, haven't seen the field a whole lot in his career so far. So I think that maybe this entire offseason, now that we've gotten another full offseason, and maybe that we go into this season as a guy that will likely get playing time this year. But as I mentioned, there are a lot of names swimming around that defensive end range and in the edge room as well, wherever he's going to play this year. I mean, we got to make sure that we remain at the top of that depth chart, that we don't get passed up by somebody else.
Yeah, this one feels like hey, it's time to put it all together type season for you. Yeah. Obviously, he missed a lot of the freshman year because of that injury. Sophomore year showed some flashes, but year 3, it's time for us to really be a full player.
I thought the flashes were actually freshman year.
Yes.
Last year was kind of like J.J. Hane's on them heels, Bubba.
Mm-hmm.
Like we better straighten up.
Yeah.
I think it's a huge year for 2 football players that were signed 2 years ago at the same position. It's Isaiah Gibson and Darren Ignogman.
For sure.
Like we gotta play ball this year.
Yes, we
do. We gotta be in the rotation. Now it's tough because Quintavious Johnson ain't gonna tap a helmet. Like Quintavious Johnson will stay on the field until he's got blood on his jersey and the ref makes him come off, or the cart's dragging him out. Like that's the only way that dude comes off the field, and both of you guys play that spot. And, you know, Gabe's the same way. You know, Gabe played with 9 toes last year for most of the year. So it's a tough spot for those guys, but, like, we got to get something out of those are 2 highly touted football players.
And, I mean, take advantage of an opportunity.
Isaiah was a 5-star, wasn't he?
Yeah. Or close enough to be a potential 5-star. And I don't want to label this as an opportunity because it's unfortunate that Amaris Williams got injured and is going to likely miss the rest of the season. But there is an opportunity available now because when Gabe Harris and Quintavious Johnson did come off the field, it was likely going to be Amaris Williams that went onto the field. Now that's up for grabs. Those reps are now available for people to take advantage of, and JJA in contention for that.
I don't know how it took us this long to get to this one, and we've obviously hinted on it already, but Gunnar Stockton is under immense amount of pressure, and I think we've beat that horse to death enough to know why and what all this entails for him, because this is kind of – it's a contract year for you on top of that, but it's also like your final year, so obviously just one to have to put out there. KJ Bolden's another name that I think definitely deserves a shout-out here. It's one of those names where you haven't played bad. I can't think of a game where you go looking back and go, KJ Bolden played horribly that game. He started basically all the 2 years he's been there. I also can't think there, and I look back and I don't think he's fully reached his ceiling. And I think that there's pressure to do that, and he's a preseason All-SEC player. He's projected to be one of the first safeties off the board in the NFL draft. There's pressure to live up to that, but I think that he still has another gear to his game that needs to be reached.
Elijah Griffin fits in this mold. He's got to be everything that he was projected to be coming out of high school, and more. Look, I mean, we showed all the flashes of we finna be a dude last year. I know it's early in year 2, but we got to be a dude. We have to be a game wrecker at times. We have to be unblockable, I think is the words that Kirby used up at SEC Media Days. I think I had one more. Oh, Peanut.
Yeah.
Talon Taylor. Like, both of those guys have to be really, really good this year.
Yeah.
Talon in particular.
Yeah.
Like, they need somebody in there to be an explosive, take the top off guy.
They definitely need a return on investment from that wide receiver class that Talon and CJ were a part of.
Highest tandem wide receivers that Georgia has signed since George Pickens and Dominic Blaylock.
Yeah, like
In the NIL era. So
got to get some benefits from that, and it's got to happen this year because it looked like it was going to spark last year with Talon because that was the one that got rolled out there, and it looked like some special things were happening with him. And to his credit as well, there was opportunities for him when he got healthy as well. There was those same signs popped back up again where it was, okay, this guy is a guy that they not only trust, but they're dialing up the big boy plays for him. So got to happen this year for one or not both of those players.
How much pressure's on Landon Rolden this year? A guy who got some burn, got some good burn last year in certain moments, had some plays in the Florida game that were drawn up for him. What does that look like?
and I'm not trying to demean Landon, okay? But anything we get out of Landon Rolden in my mind is cherry on top.
Yeah.
It is all additives. It's bonus stuff. I don't think I go into this year going, if 84 don't go for 500 yards, y'all in trouble. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I think is he 8 now?
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he wears 8.
He does.
He got out of 84.
Shame.
It's good marketing strategy.
Didn't want to live in the shadow.
Don't want to.
Instead of Lad McConkey, give me AJ Green.
Yeah, facts.
Stare him right down.
That's a great point.
Your legacy's in jeopardy, AJ.
No, sir. No, sir.
Chat's wild.
That's wild.
That'd be another cherry on top.
Yeah, we can leave that for another day. Peanut's got a lot of pressure on him
This
this year.
segment did make me think, and I don't have anybody to name for this because, and really, I wouldn't name anybody even if I think I had an idea because I wouldn't want to do this. But Kirby does always talk about how there's always an older guy that gets beat out by a younger guy. You want to talk about putting pressure somewhere? Just for you older guys, just remember, like that is a thing. These younger players come in and they take spots. It happens. Kirby Smart says it happens every single season for him.
I think I asked him about that last year, and he was like, "I've never had a year where a younger player didn't beat out an older player."
Yeah,
ever.
so don't know who that's going to be, but
Baba Yaga, that's who it's gonna be.
don't think anything's sweet just because you've been on this roster for 4 years and now's your time.
Facts.
Bookie, man.
Yeah.
Craig Dandridge might take somebody's job.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Shout out Craig.
Yeah. There was a lot of good spurts from him in the spring game.
Mm-hmm. He's a dog too.
Very exciting stuff.
I want some NFL storylines. Y'all want these?
Yeah.
There's my pocket feels really deep and good story, and there's my heart feels warm story. Which one do you want first?
We got to take the heart one.
All right. So if you haven't read this story, if you haven't seen this story on social media, maybe you're a guy that's just not on Twitter and you show up for lives, and we appreciate you. But Kristen Miller has gone viral for doing Kristen Miller things, okay? Salt to the earth, great human, always got a smile on his face. And I want to read this verbatim. This comes from Leslie Pedigo, a local New Orleans resident. Said, I want to take a moment to tell the New Orleans Saints about one of their newest players. Today I was grocery shopping at Roos's in Metairie. My groceries were already spread across the conveyor belt when a very large gentleman walked up behind me with one bag of fresh shrimp. I told the cashier, go ahead and ring him up first. He only has one item. He smiled and thanked me, then set his shrimp beside my groceries and told the cashier to ring up everything together. I immediately told the cashier, no, don't do that. He doesn't have to buy my groceries. He looked at me with the kindest smile and said, my mama always taught me to do good deeds, and I'd like to bless you today. Please don't take that blessing from me. How do you argue with that? She says. He paid for my groceries and grabbed his shrimp and looked at me and simply said, God bless you, before walking out. I stood there speechless. The gentleman behind me laughed and asked, you don't know who that is, do you? And I said, no, sir. He smiled and replied, that's a Saints player. So I hurried outside, stopped him and apologized for not getting his name and introduced myself. He reached out his hand and said, I'm Kristen Miller. I asked if he played for the Saints. He smiled and said, yes, ma'am. I asked if we could take a picture together, and he graciously said yes. Kristen never acted like he was somebody important. He never sought attention, never expected recognition, never made the moment about himself. He simply chose kindness when no one else was watching. To the New Orleans Saints, you didn't just draft an athlete, you drafted a young man of character. And to Mama Miller, thank you. Thank you for raising a son who understands that true strength is shown through humility, generosity, and faith. Your words clearly stayed with him, and because of that, a complete stranger went home reminded that there is still so much good in this world. Kristen, thank you for your kindness. You reminded me that there are still good people in the world. And to your mom, thank you for raising a son whose character speaks louder than any statistic ever could. Truth be told, I don't know much about football. I'd usually choose dragons and fantasy novels over Sunday games, but this season, I'll be cheering for my new favorite player, not because of what he does on the field, but because of who he proved himself to be in a grocery store checkout line.
Hell yeah.
Hey, that boy Kristen Miller. Let's give him 3.
Love stuff like that.
Love that kid, man. Love that man. He's a grown man at this point, and he has been that every moment you've ever met him from the day he was 15 when I bumped into him.
And that's what I was going to say is, like, not that Kristen obviously did that for that to happen, for this story to leak out, and for him to get all this recognition for a good deed. Like, I think he would have been completely fine with that, never being talked about ever again and nobody even knowing about that. But it is good that his character is finally being realized by not just Georgia fans, obviously, but like everybody, of like what we have said about him during his time at Georgia and who he is now being realized and recognized by everybody.
So that's a feel-good story. You want my Pockets feel-good story?
Of course.
Georgia's recruiting, one of their recruiting points over the last 4 years since NIL's gone through the roof is NFL over NIL.
Yeah.
Right? How about $500 million? How's that number sound to everybody? $500 million. Let me read some statistics. Jalen Carter just set the new record for highest paid defensive tackle in NFL football history. Got 4 years, $152 million, with 106 of it guaranteed.
A record that was previously set by Jordan Davis just months prior.
Trayvon Walker got a deal for 4 years, $110 million. Not bad. Jordan Davis, 3 years, $78 million. Devontae Wyatt, 3 years, $57 million. Nakobe Dean, 3 years, $36 million. Quay Walker, 3 years, $40.5 million. And here's the kicker. Brock Bowers fit to get $170 from your Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, really?
That's right.
I would
It's
imagine.
gonna be the Raiders?
Don't even J Will.
Hey, I'm just saying, Travis Kelce not getting any younger. Patrick Mahomes going to need a new tight end soon. They might fit the bill.
They will franchise that man to death before they let him out of Las Vegas.
Never, ever.
Yeah, we're probably not even going to get an NFL insider report on that contract.
Yeah.
I hope
His agent won't be told to leak that.
I hope Kyle Pitts has 300 yards this season.
Yeah, probably fitting, to be honest.
Yeah, the Philadelphia Phillies hat was crazy today.
Read the
But
room,
no, I mean-
Kyle.
I think that you did the math before the show. It's $465 million or something like that in those 6 players alone.
Yeah, it's 470 something.
Damn near $500 million.
Yeah. Brock hadn't been paid. Ladd hadn't been paid. Nolan hasn't been paid.
It's going.
He's going to keep building.
Stetson hasn't been paid.
Nope.
I mean, if you want,
Hey, he's beating out Ty right now.
So they say.
he wasn't
That's
a part
what
of the
the word
roster,
is.
but Kamari Lassiter's going to get paid.
Oh my God.
He didn't start on that unit, but he was on
He
the
was on the
roster for
roster.
it.
Did
So.
Javon Bullard recently get a contract?
Tyke Smith gonna get paid. He wasn't on that roster,
yeah.
but he gonna get paid.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
NFL. That NFL money will always be better than NIL money.
Facts.
Somebody asked me the other day, hey, if these roster values keep extending in college football, do you think there will ever be a day where an NFL or a college football roster is better than the 32nd ranked NFL roster? And I said immediately no, because a 28-year-old professional will always be better than an overpaid 21-year-old. There is just no doubt in my mind about that situation. But my God, that is life-changing money for those men right there. Enjoyed you being here today. Hope you enjoyed it as well. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button on your way out. I love you. We'll see you next time.
Talking about